Chapter 12:16. Chapter 12:14, Sleeping on the Sofa. Lin Yi, are you awake? Tang Yun was worried about Lin Yi. She'd seen how much blood Lin Yi had lost and how much energy he'd expended. She'd been thinking about Lin Yi even when she was asleep. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, jumped up from the sofa with a swoosh. She said sleepily, Lin Yi honey, you're done. Do you want to eat or not? I'll go cook. Lin Yi looked at the two, touched. He didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You guys should rest if you're tired. I'll go cook something myself. No, we've already slept. The food's ready, we can eat as soon as it's in the pot. Xiao Xiao waved her hand and rubbed her eyes. Tang Yun stood up as well. We haven't eaten yet either. Let's eat when we're done. Looking at the two, Lin Yi couldn't help but sigh. He wouldn't have tried breaking through if he'd known this would happen. It would have been better if he'd come out of the jade space earlier. He'd wasted so much time and wasted so much time. He might as well have spent the night researching and breaking through. Let's go then. I'll help you guys cook. Lin Yi nodded. In the kitchen, Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao realized, to their surprise, that Lin Yi's cooking skills were much better than theirs. His movements were fast, but it didn't seem like he was busy at all. Instead, it was very organized. The two subconsciously became Lin Yi's assistants, helping Lin Yi with the seasoning and plates. Soon, plates after plates of delicious food were placed on the table. Lin Yi honey, I didn't think you were this good. You could even be a chef in a big restaurant. Meng Yao and Yushu are so lucky, even I want to move there. Xiao Xiao drooled as she looked at the food on the table enviously. Xiao Xiao's cooking skills weren't bad. After all, she'd been living alone since she was young. She was used to cooking. It was just one person, so it was fine if he could handle it. He only made some common dishes. As for Tang Yun, although she often cooked at home, due to her family's financial situation, she usually ate potatoes and cabbages the most. Seeing so many fresh ingredients, it wasn't easy for her to start. Then let's move over. I'll go talk to Yao Yao. Lin Yi smiled and agreed. What Lin Yi was thinking was that Xiao Xiao's illness was acting up again, and it was lucky that Tianlong found out today. What if Tianlong wasn't here? If he went on a mission and didn't contact Xiao Xiao for a few days, wouldn't Xiao Xiao be dead for sure? And so, Lin Yi felt that Xiao Xiao's suggestion wasn't bad, and the Miss and Shu were both reasonable people. They'd definitely support his decision. Nah, I'm not used to it, I'm just saying. Lin Yi agreed, but Xiao Xiao shook her head. Alright, you can go if you want. The door's always open for you. Lin Yi knew that Xiao Xiao's relationship with the Miss and Shu wasn't as close as she was with Tang Yun. The situation was clear, too, that Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao were on one side, while Meng Yao and Yushu were on the other. Although there was a temporary truce, Xiao Xiao was facing Meng Yao and Yushu alone, and it was hard not to feel weak. Right, Lin Yi, can you give Yao Yao and Shu a call? They saw that you didn't go back at night, so they called me and I told them about what happened here. They were very worried about you and told you to call them when you woke up no matter how late it was. Tang Yun suddenly remembered the phone call and said. That's right, I'm sorry. Alright. Lin Yi nodded and dialed Meng Yao's number. Hello. Is this Lin Yi? The Miss picked up the call quickly. Yeah, it's me. I'm awake, I'm fine. You and Shu go get some rest, I'll be staying at Xiao Xiao's place tonight. Lin Yi said. Okay, take care of Xiao Xiao then. Shu and I'll sleep first. Meng Yao sounded a little tired. Evidently, she hadn't slept at all. Lin Yi felt touched once more. The people around him all cared about him. The Miss wasn't good with words, but she did worry about him in silence. Xiao Xiao's house only had one small bed, and a small sofa in the living room. It could barely fit one person. He could tell that Xiao Xiao didn't let strangers in, and she didn't have any friends before, so no one would come to visit. Everything here was prepared for her to live alone. Sleeping after eating was a bit troublesome. There was only one bed, how were they supposed to sleep? Xiao Xiao, you can sleep on the bed. Yun Yun and I can sleep on the floor in the living room. It's not dirty here, just put a sheet on it, Lin Yi suggested. Yun Yun sis, you're a guest. How can I let you sleep on the floor? You can sleep on the bed, and I'll sleep on the floor. Xiao Xiao said after some thought. Xiao Xiao, your body's not good. Don't catch a cold on the floor. Tang Yun couldn't help but smile. You want Lin Yi to carry you on the floor, right? I'm not. Xiao Xiao blushed as Tang Yun saw right through her. Why don't we sleep on the sofa in the living room and let Lin Yi stay with you, sleeping on the floor next to your bed? Tang Yun, of course, knew what Xiao Xiao was thinking. Although Tang Yun was looking forward to sleeping on the floor with Lin Yi, she wouldn't fight with Xiao Xiao at a time like this. Only the heavens knew how long Xiao Xiao had left to live, so Tang Yun had to use a humble attitude to face the last part of Xiao Xiao's life. I can't do that. Xiao Xiao was actually looking forward to it. Ever since Lin Yi slept with her at the beach, she'd been thinking about when Lin Yi could spend a night with her again, and today was a good chance. With Lin Yi by her side, Xiao Xiao felt very secure. Then it's settled. Tang Yun smiled and said, go to bed early, you still have school tomorrow morning. With that, Tang Yun stood up and walked to the sofa with a yawn. Xiao Xiao looked at Tang Yun's back and couldn't help but feel her nose twitch. She felt sorry for her. She'd been a little petty before, forcing Tang Yun to agree to her promise out of spite, but now it seemed that Tang Yun was a kind girl, and she couldn't bear to lie to her. Chapter 12:17. Do you want to believe me? Xiao Xiao nodded and walked into the bedroom with Lin Yi. She actually wanted to sleep on the same bed as Lin Yi, but her bed was too small for two people. If the two of them slept together, they'd have to hug each other. That position was too ambiguous. Xiao Xiao liked Lin Yi, but the thought of sleeping with Lin Yi like that still made her blush. Go to sleep, I'll watch over you. Lin Yi, on the other hand, didn't think too much about it. He didn't want to squeeze into the same bed with Xiao Xiao, and Lin Yi could sleep sitting down. Lin Yi wanted to try breaking through after entering the jade space. Oh! Xiao Xiao let out a breath of relief when she saw that Lin Yi wasn't planning on squeezing into the same bed as her, but she was also a little disappointed. Go to sleep. Lin Yi moved Xiao Xiao's chair to the bed, turned off the light and sat on it. Xiao Xiao laid on the bed, but didn't close her eyes. In the dark, her eyes rolled around, sizing up Lin Yi. She thought Lin Yi couldn't see, but Lin Yi's vision was better than anyone else's in the dark. Why aren't you sleeping? Lin Yi looked at Xiao Xiao's eyes, amused. Ah! How did you know I wasn't asleep? Xiao Xiao paused. I can see you. Lin Yi shrugged helplessly. Ah, you're so strong, Lin Yi honey. Xiao Xiao said. Do you have the legendary fiery eyes of truth? Lin Yi was speechless. I'm a cultivator. Naturally, I can see things clearly in the dark. This has nothing to do with the fiery eyes of truth. If that's the case, then tell me, if I also cultivate, would I not die? This was the first time Xiao Xiao had talked about death with Lin Yi, and since Lin Yi already knew about it, she didn't need to hide it anymore. This is possible. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and said, but there's not enough time. There's still a glimmer of hope if I start cultivating from a young age, but now, Tang Yun had already told Lin Yi that Xiao Xiao knew that they knew the truth when Xiao Xiao went to the kitchen, so Lin Yi wasn't surprised. I understand. Xiao Xiao was a little disappointed Lin Yi didn't finish his sentence, but she already knew the answer. She didn't have time to train now, so she didn't need to think about all this. Xiao Xiao, do you believe me? Lin Yi took a deep breath and asked. Of course I do. Xiao Xiao nodded, confused. I can definitely cure your illness. You won't die. Remember this, be happy every day, don't think too much. Lin Yi's face was very serious when he said this, not just to comfort Xiao Xiao, but from the bottom of his heart. He wanted to solve this problem. Yeah, of course I believe you, I look forward to that day. Ha! Xiao Xiao couldn't see the expression on Lin Yi's face in the dark, and naturally thought that Lin Yi was comforting her. But Xiao Xiao had gotten over it long ago, and she wouldn't be bothered by death. Go to sleep, we have school tomorrow. Lin Yi smiled. Xiao Xiao clearly didn't believe him, but that wasn't important anymore. The important thing was that he had to have confidence, and no matter what, he had to find a way to cure Xiao Xiao, no matter what price he had to pay. Xiao Xiao closed her eyes. Lin Yi was right, she still had school tomorrow, and she was really tired. Lin Yi waited until Xiao Xiao fell asleep before entering the jade space and starting a new round of training. The Xiao family's villa, on the other hand, was brightly lit. The living room of the Xiao family's villa was filled with smoke, and Xiao Ji and Xiao Ben were sitting on the sofa with furrowed brows, smoking. Motherfucker, these people really are bad. They're working with us Xiao family to earn money, but when it comes to teaching Pengzhan Industries a lesson, they all shrink back, saying they don't have enough cash. Brother, tell me, what the hell is this? They're all ingrates. Xiao Ji was quite pissed off this afternoon. The two brothers had visited all their business partners, and it wasn't that they didn't have enough cash, but that their business projects had taken up most of their manpower and energy. In short, none of them agreed to take down Pengzhan Industries in the stock market. Bro, don't worry, Xiao Ben sighed. This is actually human nature. Working with us, the Xiao family, and using our Xiao family's name as the sun in the sky, they'll be able to earn money no matter what they do, but taking down Pengzhan Industries in the stock market. If we don't do it right, we'll lose money. Pengzhan Industries is different from normal companies, too. There aren't many tradable shares, and most of them are in the hands of Pengzhan Industries and the major shareholders. Even if we take all the shares in the stock market, we'll only be a small shareholder. There's no point in doing this. Old Wang told us this afternoon, and I realized that this method isn't very feasible. Then what do we do? Give up this chance just like that? Lin Yi's in the hospital, and Pengzhan has so many properties. If we don't take this chance, it'll be a waste. Xiao Ji felt that it was a pity. There's nothing we can do. Who told Elder Pai and Mr. Pai to be in the hospital? That hero is just too strong, attacking Xiao family at a time like this. Even if we want to take Pengzhan's properties, we don't have any cards up our sleeves. Xiao Ben sighed. Now that Pengzhan isn't going to budge, we can only get Elder Pai and Mr. Pai to do it. I don't want to. Xiao Ji was a little depressed. Forget it, we'll find another opportunity when Elder Pai and Mr. Pai are out of the hospital. We'll have a chance to teach Pengzhan a lesson. Xiao Ben said. The meeting of the noble houses is about to start, and we should be active. This year, our Xiao family should be able to get a good spot, second only to House Yu. Yes, you're right. I'll go to Yanjing tomorrow and pay Shuixing a visit. Xiao Ji nodded. Xiao family's revenge could only come to a temporary standstill, and they could only wait for the right time to deal a fatal blow to House Chu. At the same time, in Yuan's house. Yuren looked at his wife, who was tidying up the house. He felt like he was dreaming. Recovered just like that. His wife's leg was bitten off by a lion, and it was so serious, but she recovered just like that. Yuren was stunned by the scene in the hospital, and he didn't come back to reality until he got home. Only now did he know that everything was real. Chapter 12:18. Chapter 12:16, Bear Gooden's confession. No. It's nothing. Are you really cured? Your leg doesn't hurt at all. Yuren still didn't believe it. What are you talking about? How can I clean the house if my leg hurts? Mrs. Yu said, annoyed. Did Gooden's boss really cure it? Isn't this too amazing? Yuren felt that this was unbelievable. Weren't you there too? Why are you asking such a stupid question? Mrs. Yu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Ah, it really was cured. It's too amazing. Yuren sighed, Gooden's boss is really amazing. When he has time, I'll definitely invite him to our house and thank him properly. Are you planning something bad again? Mrs. Yu glared at Yuren and asked. Of course not. I was just thinking that since Gooden's boss is so amazing, I should ask him to help Gooden and Yuan. Yuren explained. That's good, I thought you liked him and wanted to marry Yuan to him. Mrs. Yu breathed out in relief. I like him, but he doesn't like our Yuan. Didn't he say he already has a girlfriend? Yuren shook his head, I've thought it through after the underground arena incident. People need to learn to be satisfied, to be content. Everything in front of us is enough, don't dream about those unrealistic things. Yuan being able to find a man like Gooden is her fortune. As for someone like Lin Yi, Yuan might not fall for him. You're finally realistic. If you were like this earlier, you wouldn't have been tricked by others, Mrs. Yu shook her head and said helplessly. If I wasn't tricked, I wouldn't have met Gooden, and our family wouldn't have such a good life now. Yuren said proudly. At the same time, in Yuan's room, Gooden's expression was serious. This time, he wanted to talk to Yuan about the future. Gooden might look like a fool, but he wasn't an idiot. He had his own plans. Zhou Jiaming, what do you want to say to me? Yuan was a bit shy, lowering her head, not daring to look at Gooden. Her hand clutched the corner of her shirt, a bit nervous. A man and a woman alone in a room, she was afraid that Gooden would do something to her. I have something very important to tell you. Gooden sighed before saying seriously. What? What is it? Yuan's heart tightened. Was Gooden confessing to her? The two of them being together was a little interesting, but they never made it clear. Today, with Gooden, Yuan, I'll be going back home soon. Gooden said. Ah. Yuan paused, not expecting Gooden's first words to be leaving. She didn't know what to do. Naturally, she didn't want Gooden to leave, after all this time, she had developed feelings for him, how could she let him leave? Yuan, I have a reason why I have to go back, so I want to ask you, will you go back with me in the future? Gooden looked at Yuan and asked word by word. Ah. Yuan was dumbfounded. This Gooden was too direct, wasn't he? Who asked a girl like that? You didn't even confess, and you're asking me to go back with you. Wasn't this a bit too fast? Man. I know, too, you're a girl born in a big city, why would you want to go to a small village with me? Gooden looked at Yuan's expression and laughed at himself, forget it, pretend I didn't say anything. With that, he turned around and was about to leave Yuan's room. Gooden wasn't an idiot, but he was an honest man. He thought that Yuan was rejecting him when she didn't say anything. In order to avoid the awkwardness, Gooden decided that he should leave as soon as possible. It wouldn't be good for them to be friends in the future. Yuan was even more stunned now. What kind of person was this? He didn't even say much, and he just turned around and left. What do you mean, why would I want to? How do you know I don't want to? You're even answering for me. Zhou Jiaming, you bastard. Yuan panicked, stop right there. This time, it was Gooden's turn to be dumbfounded. He didn't think that the usually gentle Yuan would get angry, cursing at him. Gooden turned around and looked at Yuan carefully, not sure what was wrong with her. How do you know I don't want to? You think you have superpowers? You can see what I'm thinking. Yuan glared at Gooden. Then you're willing. Gooden blinked, and then became happy. He finally understood why Yuan was angry. You didn't even confess to me, why should I go back with you? Yuan snorted and did not answer. Heh heh. Gooden, of course, understood what Yuan was thinking. It seemed like Yuan agreed to go with him, and he misunderstood. Gooden scratched his head. Yuan, I actually like you, and I want you to be my wife. What the hell are you talking about? Do you even know how to confess? Yuan rolled her eyes. It was such a romantic moment, and this guy was acting like this. Well, it's like that, it's fine as long as you know. I'm not that good with words, you know. Gooden explained helplessly. Forget it, I don't understand romance. Yuan couldn't do anything about this, thinking that Gooden had always been like this, she didn't mind. Instead, she felt a bit of sweetness in her heart. Nothing could compare to what Gooden said just now. He wanted her to be his wife. Nowadays, there were quite a number of young couples who made vows of undying love, but when it came to marriage, their vows of undying love became bullshit. Some guys just wanted to have fun, and some girls didn't like guys because they didn't have a car or a house. Gooden wasn't romantic at all, but it was practical. Then. Are you coming back with me or not? Gooden was panicking. Yuan still hadn't given him a definite answer. But what about my parents? Yuan was worried about her parents. Chapter 12:19. Heavenly benefits, you. Dumb people have dumb luck, meeting a good boss. Yuan was a bit speechless, but Lin Yi looked like a smart guy. He should have a way to solve this problem, right? In the Jade space, Lin Yi had failed his 20th attempt at Mystic mid-phase peak. Lin kid, I told you, you're still lacking. You just need to train for a few more days, and maybe you'll be able to break through. You're just wasting your time, aren't you? Jiao Yazi shook his head as he looked at Lin Yi's failure. Jiao Lao, I can't accept this. If I want to save Xiao Xiao, I need to get stronger. Only when I'm Sky class can I extend her life. Lin Yi gritted his teeth. Forgive me for being blunt, but even if you're a training genius, you won't be able to reach Sky class before Xiao Xiao dies. Jiao Lao said, it's good to have a goal to strive for, but if it's too unrealistic, then you're biting off more than you can chew. Lin Yi couldn't help but smile bitterly when he heard Jiao Lao's words. Indeed, he was biting off more than he could chew, wanting to break through to Sky class and extend Xiao Xiao's life. But now that he'd calmed down, Jiao Lao's words weren't without reason. He was only a Mystic mid-phase, and there was still an Earth class between him and Sky class. Trying to break through from Mystic to Earth class, wasn't biting off more than he could chew. If word got out, he'd be a laughing stock. It was unrealistic for other people to break through from Mystic mid-phase to Earth class, let alone Mystic mid-phase to Sky class. And Jiao Lao wasn't wrong at all. Even if he was a genius, he wouldn't be able to break through to Sky class before Xiao Xiao died. In other words, even if he did break through to Sky class, he'd only be extending Xiao Xiao's life, not actually curing her. So in order to solve Xiao Xiao's problem, he had to find out if there was a fire spirit's fruit in this world. If he did, he'd give Xiao Xiao one to suppress the cold energy in her body. That way, he'd have plenty of time to find a suitable cold energy practitioner's arts for Xiao Xiao, and he'd be able to guide her in her training. That should solve the problem once and for all. Thank you. Lin Yi nodded. In an instant, he had figured out many things. I also don't want to see you work in vain. Jiao Lao waved his hand and said indifferently. But I still want to break through. This is not only to save Xiao Xiao, but also for myself. The enemy is too strong, I must increase my strength. Lin Yi said, fuck. I've wasted my words. Jiao Yazi rolled his eyes. Do what you want, if you want to do useless work then do it. If you can break through today, I'll tell you a huge benefit. A huge benefit? Lin Yi's eyes lit up. Jiao Yazi's benefit was no ordinary benefit. The information he got from Jiao Yazi was extremely useful to Lin Yi, and this was all information Jiao Yazi told him without any conditions. This huge benefit had to be something even more powerful. Yes, I was going to tell you this benefit after you break through to the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, but if you break through today, then I'll tell you now. Jiao Yazi actually didn't want Lin Yi to continue tormenting him, but since Lin Yi didn't give up, Jiao Yazi said it out of anger. He didn't expect Lin Yi to take it seriously. Alright, it's a deal. Lin Yi nodded and continued to sit cross-legged, entering the state of cultivation. Jiao Yazi was a little speechless, but since Lin Yi insisted, he had nothing else to say. Lin Yi activated the art of dragon mastery and mobilized the energy in the space of the jade pendant. Everything in the beginning was easy for Lin Yi, but at the last moment, he inevitably failed. Once, twice, thrice, all the way until the 10th time, Lin Yi finally wanted to give up. It seemed like Jiao Yazi was right, he wasn't there yet. Although he had reached the peak of the middle phase of the mystic class, he was still lacking a little bit. Don't underestimate this little bit, there's a saying that a little bit of difference can lead to a great loss. However, Lin Yi remembered the benefit Jiao Yazi mentioned before, and his heart itched. He opened his eyes and looked at Jiao Yazi. Jiao Lao, why don't I give up, and you tell me what that benefit is? I say, Lin kid, what does it have to do with me whether you give up or not? What benefit do I have to tell you if you give up? Do you think I'm an old fool? Jiao Yazi couldn't help but laugh at Lin Yi. You brat, what a good plan, you give up and still want benefits. Do you think you're dreaming right now? Ugh, this. Lin Yi blushed at Jiao Yazi's words, but this also made Lin Yi even more stubborn. Fine, then I'll break through for you to see. Then continue. Jiao Yazi nodded. Let's continue then, who's afraid of who? Lin Yi took a deep breath and decided to enter the next round of breaking through. This time, Lin Yi didn't train recklessly and blindly like before. Instead, he carefully recalled the feeling he had before he broke through. He felt that the energy he absorbed wasn't enough, just a little bit more, but the amount of energy he absorbed was already at the limit, he couldn't go any more, right? Did he really need to cultivate for a while longer, wait for the energy in his body to accumulate more, and then think about breaking through? But if he did that, the benefits would be gone. And Jiao Yazi was completely a virtual person, forcing him was useless, so if Lin Yi wanted to know the benefits, the only way was to break through today. But, how could he break through? Lin Yi furrowed his brows. Looking at Lin Yi's thoughtful look, Jiao Yazi found it a little funny, thinking to himself, this kid really wants to know what the benefits are. When you cultivate the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, you'll naturally know the benefits. But now, even if you know the benefits, what's the use? Your strength isn't at the second stage, you can't use it even if you know. Lin Yi still didn't know that he was actually schemed by Jiao Lao, who promised him an unrealistic benefit. If he knew this earlier, Lin Yi wouldn't be so eager to break through. A little more energy, a little more, how can I get a little more? Chapter 12:20. Finally breaking through. Is it really possible? No matter what, I'll know once I try. Lin Yi thought of an extremely crazy way to experiment. This method was a little risky, but if it succeeded, then Lin Yi would have found a way to level up that was different from other traditional methods. The benefits that this would bring would be immeasurable. In other words, if this method succeeded, then even if Lin Yi couldn't reach the full circle of each level in the future, he could use this method to forcefully break through. Thinking of this, Lin Yi's face was a little excited, but also a little nervous. Because this was not a normal method, but a very dangerous one. Whether or not it would bring any benefits was still uncertain, but whether or not it would bring any negative effects was also very hard to say. So, Lin Yi had to be very, very careful. If he were to get injured because of this, then the gains would not make up for the losses. The method that Lin Yi thought of was energy compression. Lin Yi had mastered the energy compression method. Not only could he compress the energy inside his body, but he could also compress the energy outside his body. Right now, Lin Yi's situation was that under the same circumstances, the total amount of energy that he could absorb was fixed, but after compressing the energy, he could absorb more energy. This was like a file in a computer. A hard disk could only store a certain amount of data, but if it was a compressed file, then it could store more data. So, this was also a possibility that Lin Yi thought of. Since he only needed a little bit more energy to break through, then he could directly absorb some of the compressed energy and let it be released in his body. That way, wouldn't it be the same as absorbing more energy? But, this idea was a little crazy and dangerous. This was one of his trump cards, the energy bomb. Against an enemy, it could blow them up into a bloody mess, but if he used it on himself, he couldn't be sure that nothing would go wrong. But what Lin Yi thought was that since the energy was the same as the energy in his body, it was the same attribute, then even if the energy was suddenly released, it could be absorbed by him, unlike others who would be directly blown up. Therefore, this was the most important reason why Lin Yi wanted to experiment. After thinking for a while, he remembered that even if he was injured by the explosion, he still had the ability to heal himself. Plus, he had the yellow-tiered dog as his trump card, so he didn't have to worry about not being able to deal with any accidents. Once this idea of his was realized, the benefits it would bring would be endless. Lin Yi took a deep breath and activated the art of dragon mastery, gathering all the energy in the jade space around him. But this time, Lin Yi didn't rush to absorb it. Instead, he compressed the energy around him. Of course, this compression was only on a small scale and with a small compression ratio. Lin Yi did not dare to compress with a high compression ratio like an energy bomb for the first time. Lin Yi was afraid that he would blow himself up and not even have the chance to recover. Jiao Yazi originally had nothing to do and looked at Lin Yi with a mocking expression. But when he saw what Lin Yi was doing, his expression changed. The next moment, Jiao Yazi realized what Lin Yi was going to do and wanted to stop him. "Little Lin, wait." Jiao Yazi was shocked. If Lin Yi was really going to do what he thought, then it was indeed crazy. However, when Jiao Yazi opened his mouth, Lin Yi had already absorbed the compressed energy into his body. In an instant, Lin Yi's face suddenly turned red, showing an unhealthy expression. The compressed energy was instantly released in Lin Yi's body. Lin Yi only felt like he was a balloon that was about to burst. His whole body was like an air bag, bulging and uncomfortable. His 5 viscera and 6 bowels felt like they were compressed together and there was no space left. Lin Yi instantly spat out a mouthful of blood. This high-intensity expansion of energy made him feel like he was going to explode. It was indescribably uncomfortable. When Jiao Yazi saw this scene, he instantly sucked in a breath of cold air. How could he do such a thing? He's simply courting death. However, since Lin Yi had already done it, then Jiao Yazi could only watch helplessly from the side. He wasn't a real body and was only a shadow, so he couldn't interfere with what Lin Yi was doing. Sigh. "Little Lin, I hope you can succeed. I'm afraid you're the only one in the world who dares to break through like this." Jiao Yazi muttered to himself and shook his head. However, when he recalled Lin Yi's daily actions, how many crazy things had he done? Previously, he used this energy bomb to blow others up, and now he used it to blow himself up. This person, for the sake of cultivation, he would do anything. Although Lin Yi was extremely uncomfortable, he could still hear Jiao Yazi's words. He suddenly didn't know whether to laugh or cry. However, no matter what, Lin Yi could only clench his teeth and persevere. He couldn't give up now. He had to persevere. If he didn't persevere, then all his previous efforts would be wasted. Therefore, Lin Yi clenched his teeth. Since he couldn't resist, then he would enjoy it. Therefore, Lin Yi began to enjoy the refreshing feeling that his body was about to explode from the energy. It was really refreshing, so refreshing that he could die. Boom! A loud explosion sounded. Lin Yi only felt that his eardrums were vibrating. His body finally couldn't withstand the accumulation of energy and exploded. However, Lin Yi knew that this kind of explosion wasn't a real explosion. It was an illusion brought about by the moment of breakthrough. Breakthrough, really breakthrough. At the same time that Lin Yi let out a sigh of relief, the energy around his body also slowly dissipated. At the same time, Lin Yi's face also gradually returned to normal from the initial flush. His entire body no longer felt like it was about to explode. Instead, it became a comfortable feeling, as if he had just woken up. His entire body felt like it was filled with energy. It was indescribably comfortable. Ha! Peak Middle Phase Mystic Class. Jiao Lao Head, I'm really amazing. I can actually break through like this. Lin Yi jumped up and danced happily. The sense of accomplishment brought by leveling up wasn't enough to make Lin Yi so excited. The reason why Lin Yi was so excited was that he found a shortcut to quickly break through the barrier. Using the method of energy compression to break through was far faster than cultivating slowly. This method was proven. That meant that Lin Yi could continue to cultivate. Every time he reached the barrier of a level, he could do this. Then, Sky Class would probably not be a dream anymore. You broke through. Jiao Yazi was speechless. Other than speechlessness, there was nothing else he could say. Chapter 12:21. Storage Jade Pendant, yeah. Jiao Yazi nodded. Jiao Lao, what are the benefits you mentioned before? Can you tell me now? Lin Yi looked at Jiao Yazi with a smile. Jiao Yazi didn't expect Lin Yi to have such a good memory. After breaking through, the first thing he thought of was to ask for benefits. Jiao Yazi didn't expect Lin Yi to break through. Now that Lin Yi had broken through, he was in a difficult position. This benefit could only be activated after cultivating the second stage of the Art of Dragon Mastery. However, Lin Yi was only cultivating the first stage of the Art of Dragon Mastery, so he couldn't activate it yet. Therefore, even if Jiao Yazi told Lin Yi about the benefits, he could only drool. He could see it but not touch it. What? Jiao Lao, you won't go back on your words, right? Lin Yi looked at the silent Jiao Yazi and was a little anxious. The benefits that Jiao Yazi mentioned must be unique. Lin Yi naturally didn't want to let it go. I won't go back on my words, but this benefit doesn't have any practical use for you now. Jiao Yazi thought for a while and said, do you really want to know? Yes. Lin Yi nodded with certainty. No practical use. Lin Yi didn't believe it. Since Jiao Yazi described it as a great benefit, it must mean that this benefit was huge. It couldn't be an ordinary benefit. Alright, since you want to know, I'll tell you. Jiao Yazi nodded and said, the space you are in now is actually a fourth-dimensional space. Not only can you cultivate in it, but you can also use it as a storage space. Storage space. Lin Yi was stunned. That's right, a storage space. It's similar to the storage ring, backpack, and storage bag you play online games with. You can put items from the outside world into this storage space. It won't increase the weight, and you can take it out whenever you need it. Jiao Yazi explained. Oh. Lin Yi listened to Jiao Yazi and was surprised and happy. So this jade pendant can also be used as a storage pendant? I can put all my belongings in it. Theoretically, yes. Jiao Yazi nodded. It's really a great benefit. Lin Yi had heard of magical treasures such as storage rings, storage bags, and space rings. However, most of them were in novels or games. He didn't expect that he would have such a treasure one day. "Alright, I've told you about the benefits," Jiao Yazi said. "Wait, Jiao Lao, what do I have to do to put items from the outside world into the space of the jade pendant?" Lin Yi wasn't stupid. Jiao Yazi only told him about the function of the space of the jade pendant, but he didn't say how to use it. This made Lin Yi anxious. "I don't know about that." Jiao Yazi shook his head as if it had nothing to do with him. "Ah." Lin Yi was stunned. "You don't know?" "Yes, I only told you about a benefit, but I didn't say how to use it." Jiao Yazi smiled cunningly. Lin Yi glared at Jiao Yazi, not knowing what to say. "What's the point of telling me this benefit if you don't know? Isn't that the same as not saying anything? This benefit is that after you open the next stone door and get the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, you'll be able to use it naturally after you practice it," Jiao Yazi explained. "This benefit is something you'll get after you practice the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. I'm just telling you in advance." "Ugh. I see." Lin Yi was a little disappointed, but he was looking forward to it. At least this way, the benefits Jiao Yazi told him weren't just empty words. It was something that could be realized. Once he practiced the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, he'd be able to realize this benefit. Just thinking about it made Lin Yi feel that it was very useful. He'd be able to perform magic for Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao. If Jiao Yazi knew that Lin Yi wanted to use this benefit to perform magic, he wouldn't know whether to laugh or cry. This benefit was something that many practitioners yearned for, but Lin Yi only wanted to use it to perform magic. What a waste! Yes, after you open the first stone door, it's not just the stone door that opens, but also my memories," Jiao Yazi said. "You know that I'm just a phantom, not my real body. There are some things in my memories that are suppressed and sealed, and they'll be unlocked and the stone door is opened. So after you opened the first door, my memories of the things on the first floor were added. Of course, there were also memories of the things on the second floor. That's why I know about this benefit. So that's how it is." Lin Yi nodded in realization. No wonder Jiao Yazi only knew part of the things, and it was very vague at that. His memories came back with the opening of the stone door. No wonder he didn't know about the Jade's prediction ability when he asked him about it. Perhaps this was one of the benefits of the Jade, but it wasn't time for it to be revealed yet. Perhaps it would only be revealed when he reached the third or fourth stage of the art of dragon mastery. But for some reason, a small part of it had been unlocked earlier. "Alright, I've said what I needed to say. You'll know the details and the second door is opened. Don't miss it," Jiao Yazi said. "I understand." Lin Yi nodded, suppressing this benefit to the bottom of his heart. If he kept looking forward to this benefit, it'd affect his temperament, and it wouldn't be good for his training. So it was better to let nature take its course. This benefit would belong to him sooner or later anyway, and he couldn't run away from it. Lin Yi adjusted his state of mind and returned to reality from the space of the Jade. Today's training was coming to an end. He had just broken through, and he needed to consolidate his strength. If he wanted to continue breaking through, he'd really be biting off more than he could chew. One should know that a great building starts from the ground, and more haste makes waste. A balance between work and rest was the eternal truth. Opening his eyes, Lin Yi saw darkness. The sky wasn't bright yet, and it was still nighttime. It was also pitch black outside the window, and only the hazy moonlight could be seen. Chapter 12:22. Xiao Xiao's last wish. In this period of time, Lin Yi had unknowingly fallen in love with this girl who dared to love and hate. He liked her from the bottom of his heart, and he didn't want her to leave his side. When there's a will, there's a way. It sounded nice, but sometimes, there was nothing that could be done. Lin Yi bent down and kissed Xiao Xiao on the cheek. Xiao Xiao seemed to have sensed it, and a sweet smile appeared on her face. She opened her eyes and looked at Lin Yi before falling asleep again. Lin Yi didn't disturb her anymore. He picked up her phone from the bedside. Lin Yi wanted to see what other wishes Xiao Xiao hadn't fulfilled. In the days to come, Lin Yi would help her fulfill these wishes first. After all, this was a warning to him that Xiao Xiao really didn't have much time left. He had to be prepared for all eventuals. He had to find a way to cure Xiao Xiao, and at the same time, he had to make sure she was happy. Even if there was no way to cure her, she'd still have a happy ending to her life. Picking up Xiao Xiao's phone, Lin Yi opened the notebook app he found earlier and found the My Wish folder. He opened it silently. Although peeking at Xiao Xiao's privacy was a bit immoral, it wasn't a problem of morality anymore. Lin Yi's intention was good. He wanted to understand Xiao Xiao's wishes, and then help her fulfill them one by one. As of now, the wishes he saw before, other than the push down the superstar Su Shihan, which was a bit unbelievable, and Lin Yi couldn't help Xiao Xiao fulfill it, the other wishes were all fulfilled. As for this, push down the superstar wish, Lin Yi could only give up. He couldn't really drag Xiao Xiao and Su Shihan into some threesome, could he? Lin Yi sweated just thinking about it. Opening My Wish, Lin Yi found the place he saw last time and continued looking. After the push down the superstar wish, there was another wish that was related to this wish. When is Su Shihan going to hold a concert in Songshan? I really want to see it. It would be best if I went with my best friend and boyfriend. It's best to take a picture with Su Shihan. Below this wish, there were 2 comments. The first comment was from a long time ago, more than a year ago. The comment read, went to Yanjing for a checkup. Coincidentally, Su Shihan was having a concert there. But because she was hospitalized, I didn't get to see her. Aw, I'm so pissed. The second comment was written a few days ago, I have my bestie, I have my boyfriend, I'm just missing Su Shihan. Lin Yi was speechless as he looked at the comments on the second day. But he was thinking, couldn't this Su Shihan hold a concert in Songshan? If it didn't work out, he could ask Fatty Lai to sponsor the event. There was a possibility that this wish could be realized. After memorizing this wish, Lin Yi went to look at Xiao Xiao's next wish. I hope that when I leave, Lin Yi, Tang Yun, Meng Yao, Yushu, and my dad won't be by my side. Let me leave quietly, I don't want them to be sad for me. Looking at the date of this wish, Lin Yi's face froze. The date was the day before yesterday. Lin Yi felt a lot of emotions. It seemed that Xiao Xiao had a premonition that her life was coming to an end. Perhaps her body was already very uncomfortable, but she didn't say anything. Instead, she quietly stayed at home alone and didn't tell anyone. If it wasn't for Tianlong's accidental discovery, Xiao Xiao would have really left this time. Lin Yi sighed softly. Xiao Xiao, if you really left like this, I'd blame myself to death. Lin Yi shook his head. This wish needed more thought, and Lin Yi decided to look at the other wishes. But the wish ended here. This was the last one, and also the newest one. It seemed that Xiao Xiao hadn't added any other wishes yet. So, the remaining unfulfilled wishes were to go to the celebrity Su Shihan's concert and have a threesome with her. The concert could be researched, but as for the threesome, he decided to forget about it. Lin Yi turned off Xiao Xiao's phone and put it back carefully. Lin Yi decided to go check on Tang Yun. From Xiao Xiao's room to the living room, Lin Yi tiptoed towards Tang Yun. Even though Lin Yi's footsteps were very light, not even making a sound, Tang Yun still woke up, perhaps because of telepathy. One had to know that Lin Yi had gone through special training, and even assassination missions were nothing to him. The sound of his footsteps couldn't be heard by a normal person. But Tang Yun opened her eyes and looked at Lin Yi, confused. What's wrong? Is it morning already? No, sleep. I'm just here to see you, Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Would Tang Yun think he was a pervert? Sneaking here in the middle of the night? Oh. I can't sleep well in a different place, Tang Yun stretched. How's Xiao Xiao? Asleep? Yeah, she's asleep, Lin Yi nodded. You sleep too, I'll go back now. You. Don't go, stay with me for a while. Tang Yun hesitated before calling out to Lin Yi. Tang Yun didn't want to fight with Xiao Xiao, but Xiao Xiao was obviously asleep, so it was fine for Lin Yi to stay with her for a while. Ha. Okay. Lin Yi nodded with a smile. As long as Tang Yun didn't think he was a pervert, it was fine. Lin Yi walked over and sat beside Tang Yun on the sofa, holding her hand. Tang Yun smiled and closed her eyes. Her heart was at ease, and not long after, she fell into a deep sleep. Lin Yi had just leveled up, and he was full of energy. He wasn't sleepy at all. Holding Tang Yun's hand, Lin Yi closed his eyes and enjoyed this moment of warmth. Lin Yi wasn't a conservative person, but he wasn't a playboy either. Suddenly having two girlfriends caught Lin Yi off guard, but now that they were together, it was a different kind of warmth. Especially when the two girlfriends didn't fight for each other and got along well with each other. This made Lin Yi feel very happy. In the blink of an eye, it was morning. Xiao Xiao's biological clock was very accurate, and she woke up at 6:30. She didn't see Lin Yi, and she was shocked. Was she dreaming last night? Lin Yi didn't come. Chapter 12:23. Chapter 12:21, House Kang's new test. But the disappointment only lasted for a split second, and Xiao Xiao felt that she was being too stingy. Tang Yun was Lin Yi's wife, and she was the second. Lin Yi was with her first, and then Tang Yun. He was already treating her very well. What was there to be disappointed about? Lin Yi, honey, you're not being nice, you came out to see Tang Yun sis in the middle of the night. Xiao Xiao giggled. I got here at 4 in the morning. Lin Yi said, blushing. Tang Yun woke up as well. She was a little embarrassed. Xiao Xiao, I didn't ask him to come, he did it himself. Alright, Yun sis, I didn't say anything. Isn't this good? From now on, we'll spend half the night together, no one loses out. Xiao Xiao smiled. Yeah. Xiao Xiao's words made Tang Yun sigh. Future. Was there really a future? Did Lin Yi have a way to cure Xiao Xiao? After breakfast, the three of them drove to the school. As usual, they parked the car at the food street behind the school. Then, the three of them walked to the classroom. The 12th year was a busy one, and when Lin Yi got to school, the miss and Shu were already there, reading in their seats. Meng Yao nodded when she saw Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao enter the classroom. There were a lot of people in the classroom, and it wasn't convenient to talk too much. She'd ask them during lunch break. Kong Xiaobo, on the other hand, was very excited today. He turned his head when he saw Lin Yi. Boss, sis-in-law, good morning. Sure. Xiao Xiao smiled and accepted the salute. Tang Yun would have blushed a lot, so Xiaobo called Tang Yun by her name most of the time when there were outsiders around. Why are you so excited today? Lin Yi frowned. Isn't Fan healed? I'm so happy. Xiaobo chuckled. After that, I brought her to meet my parents yesterday, and they were really satisfied. Isn't that great? Now it's settled. Lin Yi nodded. That's right, I have to thank you, boss. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have achieved what I have today. Kong Xiaobo said gratefully. Do you have anything to do with it or not? Lin Yi glared at him. If you have nothing to do, then hurry up and read. Lin Yi wanted to talk to Xiao Xiao about Su Shihan, but Kong Xiaobo just kept talking. There is something, of course there is something. Kong Xiaobo lowered his voice and said, "Boss, guess who called me yesterday?" "Who?" Lin Yi frowned and asked. He didn't expect Kong Xiaobo to play this kind of riddle. "Kong Ming Ming." Kong Xiaobo said. "Him? Why did he call you?" Lin Yi was a little surprised. House Kong finally couldn't sit still anymore. They wanted to buy information from Kong Xiaobo again. He wanted to ask me for some insider information. Xiaobo said, "Kong Xiaoming asked me a lot of questions, but the main point was basically Miracle Dr. Guan's medical company's import channels. He also asked me if we changed the formula for the injury medicine." Xiaobo said, "Kong Xiaoming asked me a lot of questions." "Oh. What did you say?" Lin Yi didn't expect that Kong Ming Ming wasn't that stupid. He could think of the problem. But it was no wonder. House Kang's golden creation had a lot of expensive ingredients. Not only were the prices high, but there wasn't a lot of production either. The supply couldn't meet the demand. This was the main reason why House Kang's golden creation was always out of stock. It wasn't that House Kong wanted to starve the market, but House Kong really didn't have enough ingredients to make so many medicines. Of course I didn't say anything. I said I'm only the vice president, and my main responsibility is the sales channel. Fatty Lai is in charge of the production, and Professor Guan is in charge of the research, so I don't know anything, Kong Xiaobo said with a smile. "Okay, but if he wants to ask for more information and give you money, you don't have to reject him," Lin Yi said with a smile. "Of course, there's a fat sheep giving me money, it's a waste not to take it." Kong Xiaobo nodded and said, "Oh right, I said I'm in charge of sales, but Kong Ming Ming asked me about the factory price of our injury medicine. From what he said, it seems like he wants to buy in bulk." "Buy in bulk?" Lin Yi was stunned. "Yeah, I think they want to buy our products and change the packaging before selling them," Kong Xiaobo said. "That's possible, but let's see. If they want to buy it, then let them buy it. It's impossible to give them the factory price, let them find a place to sell it," Lin Yi said nonchalantly. If House Kong really did that, then when House Kang's golden creation entered the market, it would be a great opportunity for him to attack them. They were digging their own graves. As long as this news was publicized at the right time, House Kang's medical group would be completely ruined. Lin Yi didn't believe that Dr. Kong would be so stupid as to do something like this. Okay, if Kong Ming Ming has any news, I'll let you know immediately." Kong Ming Ming nodded. Kong Ming Ming turned his head, and the physics teacher walked in, preparing to start the lesson. Lin Yi, naturally, had to give up on talking about superstars with Xiao Xiao and focus on the lesson. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, seemed to be enjoying this time with Lin Yi. Desk mate, lover, this was a wonderful feeling. It was the best experience of her life, and she didn't want to miss out on the last moments of her life. At noon, Lin Yi, Xiao Xiao, Tang Yun, Meng Yao, and Yushu went to the second floor of the school cafeteria. There were a lot of people, and it wasn't good to eat in the public cafeteria. Some things weren't good to say, and they'd be a joke to others. The manager of the cafeteria, of course, knew Meng Yao, and so when Meng Yao requested it, he cleared out a room on the second floor and turned it into Meng Yao's private room. Meng Yao didn't like the privilege of a miss, but for Xiao Xiao, she had to use it. Otherwise, Lin Yi would have a big wife on his left, a small wife on his right, and she and Shu on top of that. What would people think if they saw that? "Xiao Xiao, are you okay? Shu and I were shocked when we heard that you fainted yesterday." Meng Yao didn't know that Xiao Xiao was dying on the surface, because Lin Yi and Tang Yun didn't have the chance to tell them yet. Chapter 12:24. Chapter 12:22, Yushu's framing. Lin Yi and Tang Yun looked at each other. Since Xiao Xiao said that, it meant that she didn't want Meng Yao and Yushu to know about it for now. The two didn't bring it up again. Meng Yao and Yushu, on the other hand, knew about it, so they played along. I see, that's good. Meng Yao nodded. Then let's eat more food today. Yeah. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about something else. Xiao Xiao didn't want to bring the topic back to her illness. During class, Lin Yi had already secretly texted Tang Yun, Meng Yao, and Yushu about Xiao Xiao's wish, so Meng Yao naturally brought the topic to Su Shihan. I heard that Su Shihan released a new single. Meng Yao pretended to be nonchalant. Oh, I think so. The entertainment channel introduced it yesterday, Yushu said after some thought. Really? I didn't hear about it. I was busy all day yesterday, I didn't have time to watch TV, Tang Yun turned to Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao, right, do you like Su Shihan? I do. Xiao Xiao's eyes lit up at the mention of Su Shihan. I'm a fan of hers, I have all her albums. Is that so? Me and Shu too. Meng Yao said happily. So did you join Su Shihan's fan club? Nope, the fan club events are all in the main cities. We haven't held any here, and we'd have to pay the membership fee for nothing, Xiao Xiao shook her head. That's true, it's a shame that Su Shihan never held any events or concerts in Songshan. Tang Yun nodded. Yeah, I've always wanted to see her concerts, but I never got the chance, Xiao Xiao said, disappointed. Maybe if Su Shihan holds another concert, we can go to another city. It's convenient now anyway, and we'll be there in a bit if we take a plane, Meng Yao suggested. Yeah, let's treat it as a vacation, let Shield Bro accompany us. Yushu added. That. Xiao Xiao was a little moved. To be honest, she really did want to go, but she was a little worried. I'm fine, I don't expect to study well, but you guys do, right? The college entrance examination is not far away. If you go out at this time, you will fall behind in your homework. Xiao Xiao's worry wasn't unreasonable. She didn't know how long she had left, so she didn't care if she could get into college or not. But Tang Yun, Meng Yao, and Yushu were different. He could tell that they were hardworking and wanted to get into a good university. Wouldn't he be harming them if he dragged them to a concert? Oh, that little bit of homework is nothing to Genius Shu, and you need to strike a balance between work and rest. Yushu said indifferently, right, Yao Yao sis? Yeah. Meng Yao smiled bitterly. If she didn't do well in the exams, then she'd have to ask her father for help. With House Chu's current wealth, it wasn't a difficult thing to do, but it was a completely different feeling compared to the one she'd gotten herself. But Meng Yao didn't regret it. Life was the most precious thing, and she didn't know when Xiao Xiao would leave. She couldn't let her leave with regrets. That was why Meng Yao suggested this. I don't care, I can't get into college anyway. I'll just let Lin Yi spend the money, he's the big boss now, Tang Yin joked, easing the atmosphere. Yeah, if we can't get in, we'll have to rely on Shield Bro. Xiao Xiao, you'll have to rely on him too. Yushu said. Yeah, it's decided then. Xiao Xiao nodded. Everyone said that, and if she kept acting like that, she wouldn't appreciate it. At that moment, Xiao Xiao sensed something. Meng Yao and Yushu's attitude was weird today, as if they were purposely going along with her. Could it be that they knew the truth? It was possible. Maybe Lin Yi or Tang Yun had told them already, but they didn't point it out. At that thought, Xiao Xiao felt very touched. She was really lucky to have a few good friends like this before she died. Soon, the food was served. At this time, the chef in the cafeteria was free. The big pot of food was already ready, and the food the miss ordered was delivered quickly. Yao Yao sis, those kids from the orphanage are so pitiful. We get to eat such delicious food every day, but they have to calculate what they eat every day. Yushu sighed as she looked at the food on the table. Yeah, Shu, didn't you say you were going to have a donation event? What's your decision? Meng Yao was very concerned about the kids in the orphanage. What's going on? What kids from the orphanage? Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao paused. They didn't go to the orphanage with Lin Yi yesterday, so naturally they didn't know what was going on. It's like this. These things couldn't be explained in a few words, so he might as well start from when Guten borrowed money from Yu Xiaoke and tell her the whole story. There were no outsiders here, so Lin Yi didn't hide anything. He even told them how he met Yu Xiaoke. So that's what happened. Meng Yao and Yushu didn't know much about Yu Xiaoke, but after hearing Lin Yi's story, they were just as shocked as Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao. It really isn't easy for Yu Xiaoke, running around for the orphanage. She's a thief, but she's much better than those hypocrites. Meng Yao sighed. Yeah, that fox Song Lingshan really is despicable. She even hurt Yu Xiaoke. If Yu Xiaoke didn't meet Shield Bro and something happened to her, what would happen to the kids in the orphanage? Yushu said angrily. You can't say that. It's the law of the world for the police to catch a thief. Officer Song has her duty, but Yu Xiaoke is a good thief. Tang Yun said fairly. Yun sis, why are you so dumb? You're even putting in a good word for that fox Ling Shan, she's your love rival. Yushu said, panicking. Ah. Love rival? Tang Yun paused. When did Ling Shan become her love rival? Chapter 12:25. Can't just do it, huh? Tang Yun's eyes went wide, her face flushing red. This Yushu was way too fierce, daring to say anything she wanted. Shu, what are you talking about? Don't talk nonsense, Ling Shan wouldn't do something like that, would she? Meng Yao had been misunderstood by Yushu once before, back in the cave when she was sucking Lin Yi's blood, and Yushu said that it was something like that. Thinking about it, Ling Shan might have been a misunderstanding as well. Plus, with her understanding of Lin Yi's personality, even if Ling Shan wanted to do it, Lin Yi might not agree to it. The two weren't familiar with each other, and Lin Yi wasn't lustful at all. How could he take the bait so easily? If it was Tang Yun helping Lin Yi like that, Meng Yao would believe it, but if it was Ling Shan, she wouldn't believe it at all. There's no one else here, what's there to be afraid of? Yushu said nonchalantly. Are you serious? That Ling Shan is that cruel? Xiao Xiao asked. Of course it's fake. Lin Yi patted Xiao Xiao's head helplessly. How can we believe Shu's words? Why can't we? I'm the famous prophecy Shu, everything I say basically comes true. Yushu said confidently. Shu, you can't just make random prophecies. Meng Yao glared at Yushu. Nothing was going on between Lin Yi and Ling Shan yet, but if Yushu made a prophecy, things would really get out of hand. Ugh. Yushu stuck out her tongue, realizing that her words weren't appropriate. Wasn't she pushing Lin Yi to Ling Shan's side? Alright, let's talk about the orphanage's donation. Lin Yi pulled the topic back. Yushu was getting further and further away from the topic, and Lin Yi naturally couldn't let her continue. If it were in the past, it wouldn't be a big deal. But now, there really was something between Lin Yi and Ling Shan. Lin Yi couldn't help but blush as he listened to Yushu's words. It was better to stop her from talking. Lin Yi is right. Let's study the fundraising event first. Meng Yao nodded. I didn't talk to Dad yesterday because of Xiao Xiao. I'll call him now and tell him about it. Well, it's better to tell Uncle Chu first. Lin Yi nodded and said, let Uncle Chu arrange it in the school. Talk to Principal Ding and have them organize it together. It will be more powerful than if we do it ourselves. Meng Yao took out her phone and dialed Peng Zhan's number. Yao Yao. Why are you calling me at this hour? Peng Zhan was looking at some documents in his office. He was surprised to see his daughter calling him at this hour. Meng Yao had always been an independent girl. She wouldn't call Peng Zhan if there wasn't anything important. She had been in Songshan's first school for the past few years, and it was obvious that she needed his help. She was very different from the other misses. "Daddy, there's something I need to trouble you with," Meng Yao said. "Oh. My precious daughter is in some trouble. What do you need help with?" Peng Zhan was a little surprised by Meng Yao's words. Back then, other than chasing Lin Yi away, Meng Yao had never asked him for anything else. "It's like this. Shu and I want to organize a donation event in school. We want all the students to donate to the orphanage," Meng Yao said. "Donation event? Donate to the orphanage?" Peng Zhan paused. He didn't understand what his daughter meant. "What orphanage?" "Daddy, it's like this." Meng Yao told Peng Zhan about what she saw at the orphanage yesterday. "So that's how it is." Peng Zhan sighed after hearing his daughter's words. "If that's the case, the orphanage's children are so pitiful. This donation event is very necessary. But Yao Yao, have you ever thought that although there are a lot of rich students in school, most of them are just using their parents' pocket money? Even if they were to donate, they wouldn't be able to donate too much. I'm guessing that the total amount of donations in a school is only around 100 to 200,000. It's like trying to put out a cart of firewood with a cup of water. But even if it's like trying to put out a cart of firewood with a cup of water, it's still a good thing for the orphanage." Meng Yao naturally understood this logic. "It's better than me donating alone, right? How about this, I'll let Principal Ding send out invitations in the name of the school to some of the famous people in Songshan. If they're willing to donate, it'll bring a considerable amount of income to the orphanage. After all, the donations from these people and the students aren't on the same level." Peng Zhan sighed. "Oh." Meng Yao's eyes lit up. As a businessman, her father's vision was broad. Meng Yao was pleasantly surprised. "That's great. There'll be more people donating now." I'll discuss this with old Ding," Peng Zhan said. "Right, Yao Yao, how's Lin Yi?" Meng Yao paused. She looked at Lin Yi. "He's fine." "What's wrong?" "That's good. Let him answer the phone, I have something to talk to him about," Peng Zhan said. Peng Zhan's attitude towards the Shao family brothers was very firm yesterday, but he was still a little weak inside. After all, the Shao family had two masters from the hidden house pie. This worried Peng Zhan a little. After the Shao family brothers left yesterday, there was no movement. Today, Peng Zhan took a look at the company's stocks. There wasn't much movement. He didn't know what the Shao family was going to do to him. Peng Zhan was very concerned about Lin Yi's safety. As long as Lin Yi wasn't injured and hospitalized, House Chu would be safe for now. "Uncle Chu, what's up?" Lin Yi took the phone and asked. "Yi, how are you? I heard that you were very busy yesterday, so I didn't tell you in detail. I heard from the Shao family brothers that some hero went to Yao Yao's villa and beat you to the hospital." Peng Zhan asked. "Hero? Beat me to the hospital?" Lin Yi paused. "The Shao family went to look for you again yesterday?" "Yeah, that's what happened yesterday." Peng Zhan didn't seem to be faking the shock in Lin Yi's voice. He was a little confused. Could it be that the Shao family brothers came here to talk nonsense? There was no hero at all, and Lin Yi wasn't injured. Chapter 1226. Chapter 1224, Xia Yufeng's visit. Xiao Ji and Xiao Ben can't sit still anymore. Lin Yi was surprised, but there really isn't a hero. Wait, the hero they're talking about isn't Gooden, is it? Gooden? Who is he? Peng Zhan asked. It's a brother from my hometown, he's here to give me the medicine. What happened yesterday was actually like this. Lin Yi told Peng Zhan about how Gooden went to get revenge on the lion and sent the two masters from Shao family to the hospital. No wonder. They brought this powerful Air Gooden to your place, thinking that he didn't know you and would hurt you, so they couldn't wait to cause trouble for me. Peng Zhan realized, but they still have the mood to cause trouble when their own masters are injured? They really did it. They're probably afraid that the news of the Pi masters being injured would spread, and they wouldn't be able to threaten you anymore, Lin Yi analyzed with a smile. That's why they're in such a rush. If that's the case, then I won't worry anymore. But that brother of yours is really strong. I heard that the two masters from House Pi are really strong, and they were sent to the hospital by him. If Xiao family knew that Gooden master was your brother, they'd probably be scared out of their wits. Peng Zhan laughed, his worries gone. With Lin Yi and Air Gooden there, what was there to be afraid of from Xiao family? As arrogant as Xiao family was, he'd have Air Gooden send them to the hospital after the Pi masters were discharged. Don't worry about them. If they come looking for trouble again, I'll have Air Gooden scare them a little and get some money from them. It's impolite not to reciprocate. Lin Yi smiled. That's true. Then I'll go call old Ding and discuss the fundraising. Yao Yao and Shu, you'll have to pay more attention to them. Peng Zhan said. After ending the call with Lin Yi, Peng Zhan called the headmaster of Songshan's first school, Bing Gong, and told him about the donation event. It just so happened that the first high school was going to hold a singing competition and invited celebrities to donate. They couldn't just ask for money without any ceremony, right? Therefore, Ding Binggong's idea was to combine the singing competition and the fundraising event. The school would select some of the better performances and hold a fundraising event at the same time as the finals. The celebrities who came to the charity would also participate in the singing and dancing competition selection. This would liven up the atmosphere and also show respect to the donors. Peng Zhan was quite satisfied with Binggong's suggestion. Binggong was a capable man, and he'd been managing Songshan's first school well for the past few years. This was also the reason why Peng Zhan had given him such a heavy responsibility. This was a private school, and a key school at that. The headmaster here had a lot of power, and if his abilities weren't up to par, then the school's reputation would be overtaken by other schools. But it wasn't enough to just have ability without self-control. If there was corruption, then the school's culture would plummet. If the headmaster took the initiative to accept gifts, then wouldn't the other teachers follow suit? The school's reputation would be ruined in a few years. But Binggong wasn't just a righteous man, he was also very capable. This was also the reason why Peng Zhan trusted him. After the matter was settled, Binggong gathered the vice headmaster and Dean Wang Jifeng to the meeting room to discuss the specifics of the donation event. Ling Shan walked out of Director Chen's office with a serious expression on her face, her eyebrows furrowed. There weren't so many things happening when Yang Huijuan was the captain, but she'd just taken over the position not long ago, and all the cases in Songshan came one after another. The missing persons cases were getting more and more intense, but there was no pattern to the people who went missing. They were from all walks of life. Butchers, drivers, grocery sellers, trash collectors, hotel attendants, mall security guards, street sweepers, and so on. Ling Shan looked at the pile of files in front of her, feeling like she didn't know where to start. These people were all missing, and without exception, they'd gotten into a small conflict with someone, and then ran away after injuring the person. The injured people, on the other hand, weren't seriously injured, and weren't at the level of being wanted for crimes. These types of cases were the easiest to overlook, and so the files they received were very simple. No one took it seriously, and only Ling Shan noticed that something wasn't right, and reported it to Director Chen. Today, Director Chen was looking for Ling Shan to discuss the possibility of combining the cases, and told her to solve them as soon as possible. Even if these cases were coincidental, she had to find the people who ran away. A lot of people ran away from their families, and they reported them to the police as well. It didn't have a huge impact on society, but it did cause panic in some people. In order to prevent the case from getting serious, Director Chen wanted Ling Shan to solve it as soon as possible. Ling Shan felt a headache coming on. Looking at the pile of files in front of her, she felt like she was looking for trouble. If she didn't report these thoughts back then, she wouldn't be in trouble today. But Ling Shan didn't regret it. She was a righteous person, and she couldn't just ignore these strange cases of people going missing. She couldn't do that. Dang dang dang. Someone knocked on the office door. Come in. Ling Shan didn't think much about it. After all, there were a lot of people looking for her during office hours. Ling Shan, are you busy? It was Xie Yufeng, one of the people Ling Shan didn't want to see the most. Ling Shan raised an eyebrow when she heard the voice. What are you doing here? Isn't it already noon? I wanted to invite you for lunch, but I know you're busy, and you weren't in your room when I came. Your colleague said you went to the director to discuss work, so I went out to buy lunch. With that, he waved the bag in his hand and smiled. You haven't eaten yet, right? Let's eat together. Ling Shan frowned. Without a doubt, Xia Yufeng was being very considerate. If it were Lin Yi, Ling Shan would be overjoyed. But this was Xie Yufeng, and that was a different story. I'm not hungry. You eat, I still have work to do. Ling Shan looked at Yufeng faintly before lowering her head and looking at the file in front of her. Chapter 1227. Chapter 1225. Song Lingrui. One had to admit that Yufeng was quite good at picking up girls. One sentence closed the distance between him and Ling Shan. They were both practitioners, and they had a common topic. Previously, when he was repeatedly rejected in school, it was only because the girls that he had taken a fancy to and wanted to pursue already had someone in their heart. That was why they were so cold to him. But what Yufeng didn't know was that Ling Shan had someone else in her heart as well. Then leave it there, I'll eat it later. Ling Shan couldn't just tell Yufeng to leave. After all, House Yu's face was there, and she knew the situation House Song was in right now. She didn't want to offend House Yu if she could. Eat it now, it'll get cold soon. It won't taste good. Yufeng said as he took out a box and put it on Ling Shan's table, smiling. Grandpa Song told me to take care of you. If you don't eat it, I won't be able to explain it to him. I can only call Grandpa Song and ask for forgiveness now. Ling Shan was pissed when she saw that Yufeng was really going to take out his phone. This guy was using a chicken feather as a token of authority. But Ling Shan, naturally, wouldn't let him bother her grandpa with something like this. She could only take it helplessly. Alright, let's eat first. That's right. Yufeng smiled and put his phone away. He took out another box and sat in front of Ling Shan's desk, eating. Looking at Yufeng eating in front of her, Ling Shan felt that the atmosphere was a little weird, making her very uncomfortable. She could only eat as she read the files, not giving Yufeng a chance to talk to her. You don't have to work when you eat, right? There has to be time for rest, right? Yufeng said. There's a case, time is tight. Ling Shan said faintly. What case? Tell me, I'll help you analyze it. 2 people is better than 1, right? There's a saying that 2 heads are better than zhuge liang. Yufeng said. Sorry, it's a secret. Ling Shan, naturally, wouldn't give Yufeng the chance to talk to her. Ling Shan's reply made Yufeng quite troubled, but there was nothing he could do about it. She said it was a secret, after all, so he couldn't just keep asking. After finishing her lunchbox, Ling Shan pushed it to the side and continued reading the case files. Yufeng, on the other hand, sat in front of her for a while. He didn't have anything else to do, so he got up and packed his lunchbox. Alright, Ling Shan, go do your stuff first. I'll come see you tomorrow. I won't be at the station tomorrow. I'm going to East Ocean City. Ling Shan had wanted to go to Donghai tomorrow morning, but after hearing what Yufeng said, she changed her mind. She'd leave at noon to avoid him. Ling Shan was going to Donghai to see Huaijuan, to show him the case file and ask for his opinion and analysis. Huaijuan wasn't just Ling Shan's master, he was also her big brother, the vice director in charge of criminal investigation. So it made sense that Ling Shan wanted to talk to him about work. It might seem a little useless, but Ling Shan didn't mind. She was brought up by Yang Bro, and she was his follower. What was so embarrassing about asking him for help? Huaijuan had been in Donghai for a while now, working on a case. Ling Shan had to go to Donghai if she wanted to see him. "I see, how are you going? Do you want me to drive you? I bought a car here, a limited edition Lamborghini." Yufeng said. "I have a car, and I'm going to work. What's with you driving me?" Ling Shan was speechless. Was this guy sick in the head? Driving her out in a Lamborghini? Wouldn't people think that she was corrupt? Yufeng saw that Ling Shan was adamant on rejecting him, so he could only leave. After sending him off, Ling Shan shook her head. This guy was really annoying, even bringing up her grandpa's name. What would she do if he came to her office every day? Ling Shan's phone rang, and she pulled it out. It was an unknown number. Ling Shan subconsciously thought that it was Yufeng. She didn't want to pick it up, but what if it wasn't him? There were a lot of unknown numbers that called her every day, and some of them were related to cases. Ling Shan still picked it up. "Hello, I'm Ling Shan." Ling Shan said after picking up the phone. "Sis." A pleasant female voice came from the other side. "Roy." Ling Shan paused. "Why are you here? Aren't you in training? You can't just call." It was Ling Shan's sister, Ling Rui. She'd been in training a few years ago, and she could only call her family during Chinese New Year. Otherwise, there was no contact at all. So when Ling Rui called, Ling Shan was both surprised and happy. "Hee, sis, I'm almost free. This year is the 4th year of special training, and he received the Medal of Warrior from the training camp with excellent results." Song Ling Rui said happily. Ling Shan counted with her fingers. In a flash, Ling Rui had finished her training already. Time really did fly. Thinking back to that time, the little girl who'd cried her eyes out for her had actually gotten a warrior's medal. It made Ling Shan very emotional. 4 years ago, in order to prevent House Song from falling and for Ling Rui to become stronger, her grandpa decided to send his sister to the harshest mercenary training camp. Thinking back to that week, crying sister of hers actually got the highest honor in the training camp. "Congratulations, Xiao Rui." Ling Shan said sincerely. "Then what's your decision? Are you going to stay in the training camp or come back? Let's not talk about me first. I just called Grandpa." "Sis, I heard that you have a boyfriend?" Ling Rui asked, curious. "Boyfriend?" Ling Shan's face darkened. "You heard about House Yu's Yufeng, right? I don't like him." Ling Shan didn't have anything to hide from her own sister. If she liked him, she liked him. If she didn't, she didn't. Chapter 12:28. Brother-in-law, I don't like him anyway, I hate him whenever I see him. Plus, he's not the only mystic mid-phase peak. Ling Shan humphed. Do you have someone else in mind, sis? And this person is very strong, a master too. Song Ling Rui and Ling Shan had been close since they were young. Their minds were connected, so Song Ling Rui was suspicious the moment Ling Shan opened her mouth. Yeah. Ling Shan didn't deny it. She couldn't tell her grandpa about this, but she could tell her sister. Rui's mouth was tight, too. Hee, as expected. Song Ling Rui said excitedly, quickly tell me about brother-in-law. How powerful is he? Is he as strong as that Xie Yufeng? Much stronger than him. Ling Shan's heart was filled with sweetness at the thought of Lin Yi. What's Yufeng? He might have some strength, but who knows how many elixirs he used to accumulate it. He's just a young master, dumb and not responsible at all. But, when did the young generation of experts become so many? I'm not in the country, but it seems like only house you can break through to mystic from noble houses, right? At this point, Song Lingrue's tone suddenly became sluggish. Wow, sis, is brother-in-law from a hidden family? I don't think so, he's not from a noble house. Ling Shan thought about Lin Yi's situation and denied Lingrue's guess. Lin Yi wasn't from a noble house, and he shouldn't be from a hidden house either. Ling Shan had never heard of a hidden house coming out to be a common world girl's bodyguard. Trained by himself. A mystic? Lingrue's eyes widened. His background is a bit mysterious, probably similar to yours, from some training camp. Ling Shan frowned. She'd known Lin Yi for so long, but she didn't even know Lin Yi's background. Wow, this brother-in-law of mine is so mysterious, I'll have to meet him. Sis, just how strong is he? Lingrue was getting more and more curious. I'm not too sure myself, but it's all thanks to him that I was able to reach Golden Class late phase peak. Ling Shan really didn't know how strong Lin Yi was. She heard that he beat up Ma Zhu, a mystic mid-phase peak physical practitioner, half to death, so he shouldn't be weak. Brother-in-law helped you improve your strength? Wah 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 wah. Sister, you've already cultivated together. Song Lingrue was very gossipy and exclaimed, you've actually already done it. Sister, quickly tell me, did it feel good doing that thing with brother-in-law? How does it feel? Ahem. Ling Shan almost threw the phone away. She blushed and coughed twice. Xiaorui, what are you talking about? How could a child's thoughts be so complicated? What do you mean by done or not done? There's nothing going on between me and him. There's nothing between us. Ling Shan said that, but she was grumbling inwardly. She was offering herself up for free, and Lin Yi didn't even want to do it. Just thinking about it made Ling Shan feel suffocated. Was she that bad? Sis, I'm already 18, okay? I'm already an adult. Song Lingrue wasn't happy that her sister always treated her like a child. Then how did you improve your strength without cultivating together? Speaking of which, you might not believe it, but he used the method of transferring qi into my body, and I broke through. Ling Shan felt that it was unbelievable every time she thought about it. Lin Yi was too strong, wasn't he? He could improve like that. Song Lingrue was stunned. He used his own qi to improve your strength? Wah, sis, brother-in-law loves you so much. I'm so jealous, so romantic. It's all right. Ling Shan thought, according to what you said, he also loves dogs. But she couldn't say that, even if she was her own sister, she was too embarrassed to say it. Hearing Ling Shan's casual words, Song Lingrue thought that Ling Shan did it on purpose. She was envious. I'll definitely find a boyfriend like brother-in-law in the future to help me improve my strength. You're just a kid, what's there to look for? Ling Shan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Right, Rui, let's not talk about this for now. When are you coming back? I'll have to wait a little longer. I can graduate after I get the medal. Song Lingrue said, when that time comes, I'll have to discuss with Grandpa whether I'll go to work or come back to university. It'll all depend on Grandpa's arrangements. Ling Shan nodded. Song Lingrue was only 18, the right age to go to university. It was indeed a little early for her to start working after coming back. She should learn more in school and broaden her horizons, so that she could help Grandpa handle the Song family's affairs in the future, and wait for her brother to grow up and officially take over the Song family. That's right, if you want to go to school, come to Songshan. We sisters can see each other often, Ling Shan said. Of course, I still want to see brother-in-law. I can help you check him out. If he can't pass me, I won't recognize him as my brother-in-law. Song Lingrui said with a smile. Take care of yourself first. Kids shouldn't get involved in adult matters. Ling Shan's heart was beating like a drum. Lin Yi wasn't her boyfriend at all, and if Rui said something inappropriate, she'd lose face. So, it was best not to let her get involved in this. Let's talk later, I have something to do here, I'll hang up first, sis. Someone was calling Song Lingrui, and so she hurriedly said and was about to hang up, I'll call you when I'm free, I'm always free now. Looking at the phone, Ling Shan shook her head, her gloomy mood lightening up a lot. She shook her head and went back to her work. Xia Yufeng's face was a little dark after leaving the police station. Even an idiot could tell that Ling Shan didn't like him. Xia Yufeng, who had everything he wanted in the house, had never been treated so coldly before. Even in other houses, the head of those noble houses would look up to him when he showed off his identity as the heir of House Yu. This Ling Shan was acting all high and mighty. What was so great about it? Wasn't she just a golden-class late-phase peak who looked a little prettier? He was still a mystic mid-phase peak. How dare she give him that attitude? See how I'll deal with her when I get married. Xia Yufeng spat on the side of the road. Chapter 1229. Chapter 1227, Kidnapping Xiao Xiao, Motherfucker. Yufeng was about to punch him when he realized that he was standing in front of the police station. As a noble house disciple, he wasn't afraid of anything, but he was afraid that Ling Shan would see his actions, and her impression of him would be even worse. It'd be even harder for him to get her. So Yufeng swallowed his anger and took out 100 kuai from his pocket and gave it to the old man. It's 200 now. The old man kept his head down and continued to write. How come it's 200? Yufeng couldn't hold it in anymore, but his heart was about to explode. How dare they raise the price? You were cursing people just now, using uncivilized language in public, fine 100. The old man said. Here. Yufeng was so pissed that he could see stars. He took out another 100 and gave it to the old man before walking to the parking lot not far away. How are you, Han? Does your head still hurt? If you don't feel well, I'll help you cancel the celebration tonight. The manager, Wang Sis, touched Shirhan's forehead and asked. It's okay, I took the painkiller, it's a little better. A smile appeared on Shirhan's pale face, everyone in the company is waiting, how can I not go? They're celebrating for me. So what if you don't go? Your single just came out, and it instantly took the top of all the ringtone downloads, earning a lot of money for the company. Even if you don't go, what can they say? Sister Wang said disapprovingly, moreover, your headache is not a secret in the company. The boss also knows about it. I'll go, I'll get ready now, Shirhan said and got up from the bed, preparing to wash her face and change her clothes. Man, Han, you're a superstar now, you need to put on airs sometimes, you don't need to work so hard. Wang Sis said helplessly. It's okay, this is what I like to do, of course I have to work hard. Shirhan smiled. By the way, Xiao Han, I saw news about a famous doctor on the internet. It is said that he is a genius doctor who can cure many difficult and complicated diseases. Many famous people's diseases have been cured by him. Everyone admires him very much. Sister Wang suddenly patted her forehead, remembering this important news. Is this for real? Sometimes, the news on the internet was inaccurate. Aren't there a lot of people on the internet saying that my private life is a mess? Shirhan smiled and didn't take it seriously. Xiao Han, this is different. Wang Sis said, this person is called Zhao Yao Wang. I've asked around, he's really famous in Songshan City. He's really treated a lot of celebrities, and all of them were cured. I heard that, he's an expert from some big family. Oh. Can he really cure my illness? Su Shirhan was tempted by Wang Sis's words. Wang Sis had a lot of experience in society, and she was reliable. If she didn't have any experience in judging, she would have been cheated to death already. She wouldn't be able to help Su Shihan financially. Therefore, since Sister Wang said this, it meant that she had a certain degree of certainty about the authenticity of this matter. That was why she told me about it. No matter what, there's no harm in trying. Wang Sis said, I'll ask around these 2 days. If it's possible, we'll go. As long as there's hope, we have to try. Otherwise, with your illness, you really can't go on like this. Alright, I'll trouble you then, Wang Sis. Shihan nodded and entrusted the matter to Wang Sis. Tonight, Xiao Xiao sat in Lin Yi's car as usual after school, returning home. Lin Yi and Tang Yun didn't go up. After all, Lin Yi stayed here yesterday, and he should go back to House Chu's villa tonight. Tang Yun, on the other hand, had just moved yesterday and didn't have the chance to stay overnight. Naturally, she had to go back today. Xiao Xiao opened the door with the key and walked into the living room, but a handkerchief suddenly covered her mouth. Xiao Xiao's heart skipped a beat. She wanted to struggle and scream, but before she could, she fainted. The handkerchief had ether on it, and it could make people lose consciousness quickly. There wasn't a lot of ether, so Xiao Xiao fainted quickly and woke up quickly. When Xiao Xiao woke up, she realized that she was tied up with rope, sitting on the sofa, unable to move. Beside her was a man she didn't know. Who? Who are you? Xiao Xiao asked subconsciously. You're awake. The man looked at Xiao Xiao and looked at the time on his watch. He said faintly, earlier than I expected. Help. Xiao Xiao suddenly screamed for help. She didn't know this unfamiliar man, but he tied her up. It was obvious that he was up to no good. The man didn't stop Xiao Xiao, only looking at her weirdly. He said faintly, this is your own house, don't tell me you don't know. I looked at it just now, and your apartment has really good soundproofing. Moreover, your room is covered with a ceiling and wallpaper, which imperceptibly increases the soundproofing factor. So, to quote a very classic saying, you can shout, shout to your heart's content. Even if you shout yourself hoarse, no one will hear you. Xiao Xiao wasn't an idiot, she shut her mouth after hearing the man's words. She'd only done it in a moment of desperation, and now that she understood that calling for help wouldn't work, she naturally wouldn't waste her efforts. Why did you grab me? Xiao Xiao asked. Did you grab the wrong person? I don't even know you, I don't even know you. I just rented this place 2 days ago, are you looking for the previous tenant? Alright, stop pretending. Don't think I don't know your Xiao Xiao. The man waved his hand impatiently, stopping Xiao Xiao. Keep your little smarts to yourself, I'm looking for you. Xiao Xiao was a little dejected. She'd wanted to trick this guy into letting her go. She didn't expect him to know her, and even know her name. All her previous plans were useless. This guy clearly had a purpose, and it wasn't a random kidnapping. Chapter 12:30. Chapter 12:28, Kidnapping, you can't make the decision even if I told you. The man said faintly. You're just a bargaining chip. I'm looking for your old man, Feng Tianlong. You're looking for my dad. Xiao Xiao's eyes darted at the man in front of her, wondering how she could escape his control. I have nothing to say to you. The man looked at Xiao Xiao. I don't want to waste my time with you. Keep your little thoughts to yourself, don't think I don't know what you're thinking. Xiao Xiao was a bit troubled. This guy clearly wasn't an idiot. He knew that she wanted to escape, so he didn't want to talk to her at all. With that, the man ignored Xiao Xiao and called Tianlong. Hello, I'm Tianlong. Tianlong's voice came from the other side. Feng Tianlong. Hello. The man laughed when he heard Tianlong's voice. Hearing your voice makes me very happy. Who are you? The man's tone made Tianlong pause. Why are you looking for me? Of course I'm looking for you. The man looked at Xiao Xiao. Tianlong, your precious daughter is in my hands. How is it? You must be very shocked after hearing this, right? Tianlong's heart tightened. Xiao Xiao was in his hands. Who was this person? What was he planning? Was it really like what he said, or was it just a scam? Who are you? What's your purpose? Tianlong was someone who did big things. He was nervous, but his tone was calm. Tianlong, don't tell me you've forgotten who your enemy is already. The man laughed coldly. It seems like your memory isn't that good. If you don't even tell me your purpose and identity, then there's no need for us to talk anymore. Tianlong said faintly. He knew that if this guy really kidnapped Xiao Xiao, then he must have a plan. Instead of guessing, he might as well just tell him. Feng Tianlong couldn't just make random guesses. There was a system of secrecy involved. What if the person was a spy sent by someone? So Tianlong was sure that if he stopped guessing, the other party would tell him the truth. As expected, after a slight pause, the other party sounded angry. Feng Tianlong, if you dare to hang up the phone, your daughter is dead. Tell me your purpose. There's no need to threaten me. Besides, whether or not my daughter is really in your hands is another matter. Feng Tianlong said as he glanced at Li Yifeng. Li Yifeng immediately understood and began to quickly give orders to the technicians to locate the listener. Feng Tianlong, my goal is simple. I want to use your daughter's life to exchange for the safety of our second head in charge. The man said his goal. He wanted to lead Feng Tianlong by the nose and get some insider information from him, but Feng Tianlong wasn't someone to be trifled with. The man's plan was ruined, so he could only say his real goal. Oh. Second leader. Feng Tianlong paused. At this moment, he was completely sure of the man's identity, from red conches. It seems that Mr. Feng isn't stupid. That's right, I'm from red conches. The man laughed, since you know who I am, just one sentence. Do you agree to my conditions? You want me to release your second head in charge? Feng Tianlong frowned and asked faintly. The person this man was looking for was the baldy that Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao captured at the underground racetrack. Red Conches was an international criminal organization. Since Feng Tianlong captured their second head in charge, how could he let him go? But if the other party really had Xiao Xiao as a bargaining chip, what should he choose? Should he choose justice or family? Feng Tianlong didn't think that as a secret agent, he would have to make a choice. At this moment, his heart was unsettled for the first time. Although on the surface, he still looked calm and steady. Yes, it seems that Mr. Feng understands what I mean, the man said. What you choose is up to you, Mr. Feng. Your daughter should only be 18 or 19, right? She's at the age where she's as beautiful as a flower. It'd be a pity if she died like this. How do I know if Xiao Xiao is with you or not? Feng Tianlong looked at Li Yifeng, who shook his head at him. Evidently, Li Yifeng hadn't found the other party's location yet. The other party is using a number from a foreign telecom company. We need to crack a few gateways. Li Yifeng quickly wrote this on a piece of paper and put it in front of Feng Tianlong. Feng Tianlong nodded slightly, understanding Li Yifeng's meaning. Li Yifeng wanted him to continue stalling for time so that the technicians could crack it. Feng Tianlong, don't think that I don't know what you're planning. The man laughed in disdain. Don't you just want to talk to me a bit more to stall for time? So that your subordinates can find my current location, right? You can think whatever you want, I just want to confirm if my daughter is really with you or not. Feng Tianlong didn't think that his plan would be seen through, but even so, Feng Tianlong wouldn't admit it. Okay, then I'll let you hear your daughter's voice so that you can be at ease. Then we can discuss if this deal is feasible or not. The man said nonchalantly and turned to Xiao Xiao, little girl, say something to your father. Xiao Xiao shut her mouth and didn't say anything. Xiao Xiao had been eavesdropping on the conversation between the man and her father, and when she heard that her father was trying to stall for time to locate them, all she could think of was how she could help her father stall for time. When she heard that the man wanted her to talk to her father, Xiao Xiao thought of an idea. If she didn't speak, wouldn't she be able to stall for time? Let her father locate her location. So Xiao Xiao shut her mouth and didn't say anything. Because this was the only way her father wouldn't be able to confirm whether she was in the man's hands or not. This was the only thing Xiao Xiao could do. Chapter 1231. I don't have long to live, stupid girl, I told you to talk. What are you thinking? The man raged when he saw that Xiao Xiao didn't say anything. But Xiao Xiao still didn't say anything, as if she didn't hear what the man said. Little girl, do you want to die? Do you believe that I won't rip your clothes off right now? And fuck you to death. The man got even angrier when Xiao Xiao didn't say anything. Xiao Xiao gritted her teeth and didn't say anything. Say, are you putting on an act? Tianlong had half believed the man's words, thinking that Xiao Xiao was in his hands, but now he was starting to doubt it. After all, Tianlong felt that if the man really was from Red Conches and wanted to save their second head in charge, he wouldn't lie to him and say that Xiao Xiao was in their hands. There was no point in doing that. But now, Tianlong didn't believe it. If Xiao Xiao was in his hands, why didn't she move at all? This girl's pretty smart, knowing to buy time for you. The man smiled instead of getting angry. But it's fine, I'll buy time. Tianlong, believe it or not, it's up to you. But do you know why I'm still talking to you when I know you're locating me? Do you know why? Humph. Tianlong smiled coldly. He didn't like the feeling of being led around by the nose, so he didn't say anything. He didn't say that he didn't want to know, and he didn't say that he didn't want to know. If the man wanted to say it, then he'd say it. If he didn't want to say it, then there was no point in asking. Ha, I can tell you why even if you don't ask. The man smiled. Because I'm not afraid of you locating me at all. I can tell you my identity very clearly. I'm a death warrior trained by Red Conches. You know what that means, right? You don't need me to explain it to you, do you? But I think our Dragon Edge Special Agent Captain definitely knows what a death warrior is. Feng Tianlong's face changed when he heard the man's words. Of course, he knew what a death soldier was. It was normal for an international criminal organization like Red Conches to have trained death soldiers. Such a terrorist organization would often carry out deadly missions and assassinations. That was when they needed death soldiers. Death warriors, as the name suggested, referred to warriors who dared to die. The training these people received throughout their lives was all for the sake of preparing for the final moment. Many of these people had already been deceived and were willing to die for the organization. They did not care about their lives at all. These kinds of people were the most difficult to deal with. Even if they were captured, they would not be able to get any useful clues out of them. No matter how you tortured them, or how you promised them wealth and glory, these people did not care at all. As long as they had the chance, they would commit suicide. What are you trying to say? Tianlong's heart tightened. Today's matter wouldn't end well. Don't you understand what I'm saying? My goal is to save the second head. It doesn't matter if I die or not. Saving the second head is the only meaning of my existence. The man didn't feel that there was anything wrong with what he said. Instead, he said it as a matter of fact, I've already hidden explosives and detonators in my room. You can come and capture me or kill me. But let me tell you, the remote control for the explosives is implanted in my body. Once my heart stops beating, the remote control will be activated. I think these explosives are enough to blow up this 20-something floor building. At that time, not only will your daughter die, but all the innocent people in this building will also be killed. Waha, thinking about it, my death is worth it. So many people will die with me. Tianlong was shocked and angry after hearing the man's words. He didn't suspect that the man was lying at all. Red Conches was a criminal organization with a strong sense of terror, and this man was a death soldier. What he said was most likely true. What about me? Does it feel good? Also, let me warn you, don't try to capture me alive. If I'm caught, I'll bite the poison in my mouth and commit suicide. The bomb will still go off. The man warned. You're not afraid that I'll evacuate the people in the building first? Tianlong smiled instead of getting angry. Wouldn't you lose a lot of bargaining chips then? Sure, no problem, you can evacuate the people in the building, but I don't believe that you'll abandon your daughter. The man said nonchalantly. My goal is simple. You just need to release the second head of our organization, and I'll leave after I get news that he's safe. I won't blow up the building anymore. Otherwise, you know the consequences. Xiao Xiao looked at the man in shock. She didn't expect him to be this cruel. He was a death soldier after all. He didn't care about life and death, and he was willing to pay with his life to achieve his goal. Xiao Xiao was worried that the innocent people in the building would be dragged into this, but after hearing the conversation between her father and the man, she gritted her teeth and made up her mind. Xiao Xiao knew very well that once her father made the decision to release the second head of the Red Conches, her father's career would be ruined. He'd even be punished. Although Tianlong was the one who caught him, he couldn't just let him go like that. Xiao Xiao didn't want her father to make a mistake because of this. Her father had been a righteous man all his life, and he'd given up a lot for his career. How could she let him lose his career because of her? She didn't have many days left to live anyway. Her illness had flared up twice, and each time was more serious than the last. Lin Yi had used up a lot of qi and blood to save her. If this went on, it'd only be a burden to him. She was going to die sooner or later, so she might as well make her death meaningful. Dad, don't mind me, don't listen to him. After you evacuate the people, just let him blow me up. I don't have long to live anyway. Xiao Xiao suddenly yelled. Tianlong's heart skipped a beat when he heard his daughter's voice, but after hearing her words, he felt emotional. Tears almost came out of his eyes. His daughter was willing to make such a sacrifice for him. Chapter 1232. Haggle over price. But, even knowing this, Tianlong didn't want his daughter to die. He was willing to give up his life for her to live one more day of happiness. Girl, what are you yelling for? The man wasn't expecting Xiao Xiao to say something like that all of a sudden. He was pissed as he glared at Xiao Xiao. Shut your mouth. Dad, I love you. If there's a next life, I'll be your daughter again. Help me tell Lin Yi honey that I love him too. If there's a next life, I'll be his concubine again. Tell Tang Yin sis N. Woo. Don't cover my mouth. Woo. Xiao Xiao was struggling. I'll let you speak, I'll let you speak. The man grabbed a towel and stuffed it into Xiao Xiao's mouth, blocking her mouth. Finally, he couldn't hear Xiao Xiao's voice anymore. He picked up the phone with a dark face, furious. Fuck, was there anyone in this world who wasn't afraid of death? He was a death warrior, of course, but was Xiao Xiao a death warrior too? The man's lungs were about to explode. It was a good situation for him, but Xiao Xiao's fearless declaration made him nervous. Feng Tianlong, are you sure that your daughter is in my hands now? The man's voice was a little suppressed. Girl, you've watched too many movies about heroism. You're not going to let your daughter die, are you? Let me think about it. Tianlong sighed, I can't make the decision on this. Your second head in charge has been transferred to Yanjing, I need to ask for instructions from the higher-ups. I don't care if you can make the decision or not. I just want results. The man said, I'll give you 2 hours, enough for you to negotiate. If there's no news in 2 hours, I'll activate the bomb and blow you up with your daughter. Of course, I'll die too. Wait, 2 hours isn't enough. Time's too tight, and it's after work. I can't guarantee that there'll be results in 2 hours. Tianlong stopped the man from hanging up. Alright, then I'll give you some more time. 3 hours should be enough, right? The man nodded. He didn't really care about the time. As long as Feng Tianlong was sincere in negotiating, he didn't mind giving him more time. He was prepared to die anyway, so he wasn't afraid of what Feng Tianlong would do. 5 hours, Feng Tianlong looked at his watch and said, I'll give you an answer in 5 hours. You know that I don't want my daughter to die. I have to fight for more time to work. Deal. The man relaxed after hearing Feng Tianlong's words. The length of time wasn't the main point. The main point was that since Feng Tianlong wanted to extend the time, it meant that he didn't want to give up his daughter's life. He wanted to save her. And so the more it was like this, the happier the man was. He was afraid that Tianlong wouldn't care about Xiao Xiao. After that, the man didn't waste any more time and hung up the phone. Tianlong let out a long breath. He didn't feel good in his heart, especially when he heard his daughter's last few words. Tianlong had the urge to cry. How sensible was his daughter? She didn't want to put him in a difficult position and was prepared to die. But how could he bear to see his daughter die? Captain Feng, we found their location. They're in the Li Huashuyan district, building A-19. We don't know the exact floor, but the investigators have arrived at the scene and are checking the signal. I'm sure we'll have results soon. Li Feng reported the current situation to Feng Tianlong. I understand. Little Li, keep an eye on it. Let me know immediately if there's any news. Feng Tianlong nodded. It was obvious that they didn't care about his investigation, so if he was right, it would be easy for him to lock onto the location of the signal. He should have an answer soon. But what could he do even if he knew their location? The enemy wasn't afraid of death at all. Once they died, the bomb would be activated. This was a hedgehog that couldn't be touched. Not only couldn't they assassinate him, but they also had to ensure his safety. Otherwise, not only would his daughter lose her life, but the entire building would also be instantly destroyed. Tianlong knew about Qianhua district. It was one of the most luxurious districts in Songshan. The people who lived there were either rich or powerful. If there was a big explosion here, it would have a huge impact on society. So Tianlong couldn't make a decision at this moment. Helpless, Tianlong could only report to his superiors. This was too big. He didn't agree to let them go, and the consequences of not letting them go were severe. He could only let the bureau chief decide. Bureau Chief Xia, I'm Feng Tianlong. Tianlong reported the sudden incident to Bureau Chief Xia with a gloomy mood. On the other side, Bureau Chief Xia didn't reply immediately. He asked Tianlong to evacuate the other residents in the building and wait for a meeting before making a decision. Little Feng, don't worry too much. Don't worry, from my personal perspective, I don't want anything to happen to Xiao Xiao. After all, she's your and Susu's only child. Susu is also an old agent here. I can't let her die with grievances, right? Bureau Chief Xia comforted Tianlong, but I'm not the only one in charge here. There are some things that must be discussed in a meeting. I understand, Bureau Chief Xia. No matter what the final result is, I will obey. Tianlong said. Okay, don't think too much. Alright, time is running out. I'm going to call for a meeting. Bureau Chief Xia said. Tianlong hung up the phone and laid on the chair. His eyes were solemn. At this moment, he seemed to have aged a lot. Captain Feng, don't worry too much. Why don't you give Lin Bro a call? Maybe he has a solution. Li Yifeng suggested. Li Yifeng knew Lin Yi's capabilities. Not only was he skilled in medicine, but he was also skilled in martial arts. Last time, the second head of the Red Conches was captured by Lin Yi. Maybe Lin Yi had a solution. Okay, we have to talk to him about this. After all, he's Xiao Xiao's boyfriend. Tianlong nodded and picked up the phone. If it was yesterday, Tianlong might not have told Lin Yi about this. After all, his promise with Lin Yi was to pretend to be Xiao Xiao's boyfriend. Chapter 1233. Chapter 1231, Lingshan's Little Thoughts. Uncle Feng, what's up? Lin Yi had just gotten back to the villa when he received Tianlong's call. Lil Yi, Xiao Xiao's been kidnapped by Red Conch's death warriors. Tianlong didn't waste time and told Lin Yi what happened. The death warriors from Red Conches want to threaten me to release their second head, the baldy you caught at the underground racetrack. Xiao Xiao's been kidnapped. Lin Yi was shocked. As for who did it, Lin Yi didn't really care. He was only worried about Xiao Xiao's safety. Do you know where she is? I'll be right there. Xiao Xiao's current location is at Qianhua waterfront, but the situation is a bit complicated. How about this, I'll tell you the details when you get there. Tianlong said. I'm heading to Qianhua waterfront now, so let's meet at the entrance. Do you know my car? Okay, I'll be right there. Lin Yi was panicking. Tianlong mentioned that the kidnapper was a death warrior. Lin Yi, naturally, understood what a death warrior meant. These types of people were the hardest to deal with. They didn't care about the consequences, because they weren't afraid of death at all. Lin Yi quickly put on his clothes and left his room. The Miss and Shu were in the living room, using a tablet to search for the latest news about the celebrity, Su Shihan. They wanted to see if she had any plans to hold a concert soon. Since they'd discussed it with Xiao Xiao, naturally, they had to put it into action. Seeing Lin Yi come out of his room and put on his clothes, Meng Yao raised her head curiously. Lin Yi, you're going out? Xiao Xiao's been kidnapped, I need to go out for a bit. Lin Yi nodded, his face serious. Don't wait for me tonight. Help me call Tang Yun and tell her that you guys don't need to worry about me. I'll be fine. Ah. Meng Yao and Yushu were shocked by what Lin Yi said, but they didn't ask much when they saw Lin Yi looking like he was in a hurry. After all, time was of the essence, and they didn't want to waste any more of Lin Yi's time. Alright, be careful. Lin Yi replied and left the villa, driving Xiao Xiao's Land Rover to Qianhua waterfront. Lin Yi wasn't unfamiliar with Qianhua waterfront district. When he went to look for the shareholder of Pengzhan Industries, Xie Guanghua, his house was in Qianhua waterfront district. Therefore, Lin Yi was very familiar with the route. He sprinted all the way and soon arrived at the entrance of the neighborhood by the Lihua River. At this moment, the entrance of Qianhua Shuiyan district was brightly lit. Various police cars were parked everywhere, and a few fire engines from the armed police department had also arrived. After Lin Yi's car entered the cordoned area, he was stopped by two police officers. What are you doing here? You're Lingshan's subordinate? Lin Yi asked, noticing the familiarity of the officer. Yes, you are. The officer paused and looked at Lin Yi carefully. He did look familiar, but he wasn't sure who he was. Feng Tianlong asked me to come here. You can go and ask for his permission. Lin Yi said. You're looking for Captain Feng. Please get off the car and follow me. The officer saw that not only did Lin Yi know Song Lingshan, but he also knew Feng Tianlong. Naturally, he didn't need to ask for permission and brought Lin Yi to Lingshan. Of course, he didn't have enough authority to meet Feng Tianlong. He needed Lingshan to bring Lin Yi there, so he wasn't afraid that Lin Yi was a criminal. After all, if Lin Yi really was a bad guy, he would only be able to see Lingshan. He wouldn't even be able to see Feng Tianlong's face. Lin Yi? Lingshan paused when she saw Lin Yi. Bring me to Feng Tianlong. Xiao Xiao is my girlfriend. Lin Yi looked at Lingshan and said faintly. Ah. Lingshan paused. She didn't think that Feng Tianlong's daughter, Xiao Xiao, would be Lin Yi's girlfriend. Wasn't Lin Yi's girlfriend Tang Yun? How did it become Xiao Xiao? Lingshan was in a dilemma. If you're looking for a girlfriend, why didn't you look for me? Why did you look for someone else? Am I that bad that I don't even have the right to be your girlfriend? Ah, what? Lin Yi frowned. No. Nothing. Lingshan jumped when she saw that Lin Yi was angry. She didn't dare say anything else and quickly brought Lin Yi to Feng Tianlong. But as they walked, she pretended to ask carelessly, "Isn't your girlfriend Tang Yun? How did it become Xiao Xiao?" "She's my small wife." Lin Yi knew that Lingshan would ask about this, but he didn't hide it. It wasn't a secret, and Lingshan didn't know about it before because she didn't care. Now, she just needed to do some research and she'd figure it out. Small wife? You got yourself another small wife? Tang Yun agreed. Lingshan couldn't believe it. Agreed? Why do you have so much to say? What do you want to ask? Lin Yi glared at her. Ugh. Nothing. Lingshan actually wanted to ask, why couldn't you consider lass first when you're looking for a small wife? But it wasn't a good time to ask that. After all, Xiao Xiao was kidnapped, and it was dangerous. Lin Yi didn't have the mood to talk about love. If she did, she'd probably get scolded by Lin Yi. Feng Tianlong was surrounded by a group of people, but his eyes were always looking around. When he saw Lin Yi and Lingshan walk over, he quickly left the crowd and walked over. The people around Feng Tianlong were all from the investigation department in Songshan. They had already received news that the Red Conk's death warriors were at Qianhua Shuyan District, Building A-16, the 18th floor. According to the property registration, the entire floor of Building A-16 was registered under a foreigner's name and usually no one lived there. Evidently, this was a house that Red Conk had bought a long time ago, just in case. An organized crime group like Red Conk had a lot of trump cards in their hands. It wasn't a surprise that they could buy a house here. Even if they couldn't use it in the end, they could still sell it for a huge sum of money. After all, Qianhua Shuyan's house price had more than doubled compared to when it first opened. Since the investigation was done, Tianlong told the police and the property management to notify the owners of Building A-16, telling them to leave their rooms temporarily. This building had a bomb installed, and it could explode at any time. Chapter 1234. Let me go. Uncle Feng, how's the situation? Have you confirmed Xiao Xiao's location yet? Lin Yi didn't bother with small talk after seeing Feng Tianlong and went straight to the point. It's confirmed. The person who kidnapped Xiao Xiao is a death warrior from Red Conches. He's with Xiao Xiao on the 18th floor of Building A-16, but we don't know which unit, Feng Tianlong said. Feng Tianlong said, but this death warrior has already planted explosives in the higher levels, and the remote control for the explosives is placed in his body. It relies on the heartbeat to control the explosion. Once his heart stops beating, the remote control will detonate it. So, there's no other way but to agree to his conditions. He can't die. What if we capture him alive? Lin Yi frowned. That won't work. There's poison in his mouth. If he commits suicide, the bomb will explode. Feng Tianlong smiled bitterly. Death warriors aren't afraid of death. In their eyes, there's no fear of death. So we can't assassinate them or capture them alive. We haven't come up with a plan yet. We can only wait for the higher-ups to decide if we can release the second head in charge of Red Conches. I see. Lin Yi nodded. Uncle Feng, let me go take a look. You. Go take a look. Feng Tianlong paused. Little Yi, you're going to die if you go now. You can't do anything to him, but if you don't handle it well and anger him, he might take poison to kill himself. Then you and Xiao Xiao will be finished. He won't do that easily. Lin Yi shrugged and smiled. He'll only choose suicide when there's no hope. As long as there's hope to save the second head in charge, he'll do it. Oh. Feng Tianlong paused. Uncle Feng, there are two types of death warriors. One is forced and the other is voluntary. Those who were forced obviously wouldn't be sent to carry out this kind of mission. After all, this mission is very important. If there's any mistake and they fail because of the Death Warrior's betrayal, the Red Conches will lose more than they gain. Lin Yi analyzed. So, this Death Warrior is most likely volunteering. Since they were willing to risk their lives for the Red Conch, they had to have undergone strict training and were extremely loyal to the Red Conch. Since that was the case, he would prioritize saving the second-in-command of the Red Conches. This was an honor for someone who was loyal to the Red Conches. So, unless it's absolutely necessary, he won't choose to commit suicide before the mission is over, and we still have a chance. Oh. Now that you mention it, it seems to be the case. Feng Tianlong nodded after listening to Lin Yi's analysis. For a fanatic like this man, he would definitely view the life of the second leader as extremely important. This was because only by saving the second leader would he be able to achieve his ultimate goal in life. Whether he died or not was secondary. Because whether he died or not, it wasn't as important as the second leader. This was the reason why he was willing to use his life to exchange for the second leader's life. And Lin Yi only dared to try this because he knew what he was thinking. I've dealt with people like this before. Although they don't care about life and death, it's a completely different mentality to die after a successful mission and a failed mission. Lin Yi shrugged. So, I'll go up and see if there's a chance. Even so, your analysis is the truth. But it's still too dangerous for you to go up. Feng Tianlong hesitated. Even if you can talk to him peacefully, it won't help other than stalling for time. That's the 18th floor. Even if you want to escape with Xiao Xiao, you'll need some time to get down from the 18th floor, even if it's a jump. That'll be enough time for him to detonate the bomb and blow you and Xiao Xiao into pieces. Trust me, Uncle Feng, I won't do something stupid like that, Lin Yi smiled confidently. Alright, it's decided. I'm going up. Wait. I can't make this decision, I have to report it to the higher-ups. Feng Tianlong naturally didn't want to see Lin Yi go to his death. If Chief Xia agreed to release the second leader of the Red Conches, then Xiao Xiao might be able to escape, but it was only a possibility. Who knew if the Red Conch's men of sacrifice were trustworthy? Would they wait for the second-in-command of the Red Conch to escape before suddenly changing their minds and detonating the bomb to perish together? It wasn't impossible, it was very possible. Because the opponent was a death warrior, they couldn't be judged with common sense. It's fine. If Chief Xia asks, just say that I went up on my own accord, Lin Yi said faintly. Feng Tianlong wanted to stop him, but he saw the worry in Lin Yi's eyes and didn't stop him. Lin Yi was loyal to his daughter, and this made Feng Tianlong happy and touched. Plus, with Feng Tianlong's understanding of Lin Yi was a brave, smart, and courageous person. He didn't do things on impulse. So, if Lin Yi asked to go up, it meant that Lin Yi had a certain level of confidence. At the very least, he wouldn't do something impulsive and irrational. So, since Lin Yi said so, Feng Tianlong wouldn't stop him. Lin Yi had a very delicate relationship with his organization. Even if Chief Xia knew that Lin Yi went up on his own accord, he wouldn't be able to do anything about it. Ling Shan, on the other hand, frowned as she looked at Lin Yi's departing back, not feeling too good about it. Lin Yi was going to do something so dangerous. Didn't he know they were death warriors? Didn't he know there were explosives in the building? Was Xiao that important to him that he didn't care about his own life? Would Lin Yi have been able to save him if he'd been the one upstairs? Last time, Lin Yi also went into the tiger's den and saved her from the kidney trafficking company's dungeon. This meant that Lin Yi had a place in his heart. Ling Shan was happy again at the thought. Lin Yi, naturally, didn't know that Ling Shan had these messy thoughts. If he did, Lin Yi wouldn't know whether to laugh or cry. Right now, Lin Yi didn't have much confidence in winning. He could only take it one step at a time. Lin Yi knew that the department wasn't united, and Chief Xia wasn't the only one. There were some things that he couldn't decide even if he wanted to. Chapter 1235. An unfavorable start. Looking at Lin Yi's back, Tianlong felt a surge of warmth in his heart. Xiao's life, meeting Lin Yi at the moment of her death, was really her fortune. With someone like Lin Yi who cared for her and loved her, Xiao could die with no regrets. This time, Tianlong didn't even know if he'd be able to come back down. Of course, Feng Tianlong could understand Lin Yi's deep feelings for Xiao. If it wasn't for his wife, Xiao Susu, having a daughter like Xiao, he would have thought about going to hell with Xiao Susu. But although Lin Yi and Xiao didn't have a child, the problem was that Lin Yi didn't only have one girlfriend. Lin Yi still had Tang Yun. How could he die with Xiao? Wouldn't he be letting Tang Yun down? Could it be? Lin Yi really had the confidence to win. Feng Tianlong's eyes narrowed. He understood Lin Yi's ability. Without a doubt, he was one of the best in the department. With that thought, Feng Tianlong's heart was filled with hope. He hoped that Lin Yi could bring him a miracle. He dialed Chief Xia's number. Feng Tianlong had to report the news of Lin Yi going up. It didn't matter if he could stop it or not, he had to let the higher-ups know. Tianlong. Chief Xia's voice was heavy. It's me. Chief Xia, what's wrong? Feng Tianlong's heart tightened when he heard that Chief Xia's tone wasn't right. Tianlong, I'm really sorry. No one agreed to release the second head in charge of the Red Conches. The impact of this is too big. We've already notified Interpol about the news of capturing the second head in charge of the Red Conches. If we release him now, we won't be able to explain ourselves. Chief Xia said helplessly, although I said that I'd rather resign and release the second head in charge of the Red Conches, I'm not the only one in charge here. The other people in charge don't agree. I understand your difficulties. It's nothing. Feng Tianlong had already guessed this result. Although he had a good personal relationship with Chief Xia, it didn't mean that he had a good relationship with the others. The other people in charge of the investigation department were all impartial. They wouldn't sacrifice the collective for their own benefits. However, if it was before Lin Yi went up, Feng Tianlong would be in a bad mood because this meant that Xiao was sentenced to death. But now, Tianlong placed his hopes on Lin Yi. As for whether or not he could release the second head of the Red Conch, Tianlong didn't care. Tianlong, don't think too much. I will send a bomb disposal team to the scene to assist you as soon as possible. When Director Xia said this, he didn't have much confidence. If the man of sacrifice had placed the explosives in his room, then even the best bomb disposal experts would be useless. They couldn't possibly enter his room to defuse the explosives, right? That person directly detonated the explosives. It's fine, Chief Xia, I have something to report to you. Feng Tianlong said. Oh. Did something happen on your side? Director Xia asked in a daze. Lin Yi is here and Lin Yi is alone. He is determined to face the Red Conch Man of Sacrifice. Feng Tianlong said. Lin Yi? What? Director Xia paused when he heard this name. You know Lin Yi? Only a few people in the investigation department knew Lin Yi's real name. Lin Yi wasn't a permanent member of the investigation department. He existed as an external helper. His code name was Eagle, and the other people in the department only knew him as Eagle. They didn't know his real name. So, when Feng Tianlong said the name Lin Yi, Director Xia was stunned. Yes, Eagle from back then. Feng Tianlong said with certainty. He knew what Director Xia was confused about, but there was no need to hide it. When he met Lin Yi before, he didn't report it to Director Xia because he didn't want to hide anything. You are still in contact with him? You found him this time? Director Xia was shocked. He didn't expect Feng Tianlong to have a personal relationship with Eagle. He is my daughter's boyfriend. Feng Tianlong smiled bitterly. Otherwise, why would he go at such a dangerous time? Ah. Director Xia was even more shocked. He is Xiao Xiao's boyfriend. No wonder. No wonder. This world is too small. Yes, that's why Lin Yi insisted on going. I couldn't stop him since he isn't my subordinate and I can't beat him. Feng Tianlong smiled bitterly. Ha! Old Feng, I'm not blaming you. Why are you explaining so much? But with Lin Yi's help, there's a good chance we'll be able to turn the situation around. Chief Xia said. I hope so. Feng Tianlong wasn't in the mood to joke with Director Xia and said sincerely. After ending the call with Director Xia, Feng Tianlong said to Li Yifeng, Little Li, tell everyone to leave the building and stay a safe distance away. Be on standby. Yes. Li Yifeng nodded and turned to give the order. Since Lin Yi went up, Feng Tianlong had to trust Lin Yi. The people near the building would only burden Lin Yi. Since Feng Tianlong chose to trust Lin Yi, he had to reduce his burden as much as possible so that he could do things without any worries. Sometimes, the more people, the better. Lin Yi didn't choose to climb over the wall. Instead, he took the elevator and went up to the 18th floor. The elevator stopped at the 18th floor, and Lin Yi got out. He observed the two houses outside the elevator. He could see a faint light through the peephole of one of the houses, and the other was pitch black. Lin Yi chose the house with the light and took out some small tools from his pocket. He easily opened the anti-theft door without making a sound. The so-called anti-theft door could only prevent ordinary thieves. If it was a professional like Lin Yi, it would be useless. If it was really that anti-theft, the locksmith companies wouldn't have any business. Although Lin Yi was very careful, the person in the house was also very alert. The moment Lin Yi opened the door, the person spoke. Chapter 1236. Since you're here, don't leave. Lin Yi thought to himself that this guy wasn't a good person after all. He'd been very careful, but while he tried his best not to make any noise, there was still some noise when the door was opened. He tried his best to make it as quiet as possible, but it was inevitable that there would be some noise. It's me, Xiao Xiao's boyfriend. Lin Yi looked at the man calmly. Since he'd been found out, Lin Yi didn't bother putting on an act anymore and spoke frankly. He didn't want to piss this guy off and make him commit suicide. Wu, Xiao Xiao saw Lin Yi come in, and was very agitated. She waved her arms and legs, trying to say something, but her arms and legs were tied up. Even if she waved her arms and legs, she could only wiggle on the sofa. Plus, her mouth was gagged, so she could only make noises. The man listened to Lin Yi's self-introduction, confused. This guy wasn't a cop, nor was he from the Supernatural Investigation Department, but Xiao Xiao's boyfriend? And looking at Xiao Xiao's excited and nervous face, this person was most likely acquainted with Xiao Xiao. Just stand there, don't come over, and don't try to do anything to me. I'm telling you, don't even think about using the tranquilizer gun. An unconscious person's heartbeat is different from a normal person's. If my heartbeat slows down to a certain degree, it'll set off the bomb. The man warned as he looked at Lin Yi. He wasn't trying to scare Lin Yi, but it was the truth. This was to prevent someone from using the tranquilizer gun on him. The heartbeat of an unconscious or anesthetized person would slow down, and the bomb's remote would be activated as well. Don't worry, I won't do anything. Lin Yi's face was nervous and worried. I'm just worried about my girlfriend's safety, I don't want anything to happen to her. If anything happens to her, then I won't live either. So when I came up, I was prepared to die with her. Don't worry, I don't have a gun. I'm not a cop. Although I think what you said is probably true, I'm sorry, but I still can't believe you. The man said faintly, there's no news from Feng Tianlong's side, and I'm quite bored. Since you're here, let's play a game. Kaka. As he spoke, the man pulled the towel out of Xiao Xiao's mouth. Xiao Xiao's mouth had been gagged for a long time, and it was very uncomfortable. She took the towel out and started panting heavily. Lin Yi honey, what are you doing here? He wants to blow me up. Didn't you get blown up as well? Hurry up and leave. This has nothing to do with you. Don't meddle blindly. Xiao Xiao looked at Lin Yi, touched and angry at the same time. She was touched that Lin Yi treated her so well and didn't abandon her even in such a dangerous situation. But at the same time, Lin Yi didn't only have one girlfriend, he still had Tang Yun. If Lin Yi died with her, what would happen to Tang Yun? And Meng Yao and Yushu, Xiao Xiao could tell. She wasn't sure if Meng Yao had feelings for Lin Yi, but Yushu definitely did. Lin Yi, on the other hand, shouldered the love of so many girls. If he died, these girls would hate her to death. He can't leave anymore. He's here, so he can't leave anymore. The man laughed coldly. What does he think this place is? You think you can come and go as you please? Even if I leave now, I don't believe you'd detonate the bomb. Lin Yi said faintly. Right now, Uncle Feng is negotiating with the higher-ups about releasing your second head in charge. If you detonate the bomb, then your second head in charge won't be released anymore. Lin Yi just wanted to make sure that this death warrior in front of him was the same as he thought. Saving his second head in charge was his first goal. As for whether he died or not, that was secondary. So Lin Yi used leaving as an excuse. In reality, even if he kicked Lin Yi out, Lin Yi wouldn't leave. If Lin Yi left, wouldn't he come here for nothing? But the man didn't know why Lin Yi came here. He didn't think much after hearing Lin Yi's words. He only laughed. Leave? Of course. You're right, my goal this time is to save my second head in charge. As for dying, I'm not afraid of dying, but I have to make sure I can't save him and teach Feng Tianlong and the Bureau a lesson. Then what if I leave? Lin Yi asked. If you leave, I'll take off your wife's clothes and fuck her. In the next few hours, whether Feng Tianlong releases him or not, I'll play with your wife non-stop. I'll fuck her to death. The man licked his lips like a pervert and said fiercely. As expected, after hearing the man's words, Lin Yi's face changed. He stood at the door with a dark face. He didn't know whether to leave or stay. Lin Yi, honey, leave. If he really dares to do that, I'll die with him. Don't worry, Xiao Xiao is yours for the rest of her life. She won't give it to anyone else. You still have Tang Yun, sis. Don't listen to him. Xiao Xiao saw the change in Lin Yi's face and thought that Lin Yi wanted to stay. In reality, Xiao Xiao didn't know that Lin Yi's face was purposely put on for the man to see. Lin Yi had to have a good reason to stay, right? If he stayed for no reason, the man would be suspicious. And the man's words gave Lin Yi an excuse to stay. No matter what, he could only act according to the situation if he stayed. Xiao Xiao, I won't leave you. Lin Yi gritted his teeth and said seriously. Lin Yi, honey, don't be so stubborn. And Tang Yun, sis, Meng Yao, and Shu, what about them? You can't die with me. Xiao Xiao was panicking. She kept giving Lin Yi looks. Xiao Xiao knew a little about her father's organization. How could they let people go after capturing them? So Xiao Xiao didn't have much hope in this at all. She didn't want her father to make a mistake because of her. So this time, Xiao Xiao was prepared to die. She didn't have long to live, so she might as well die. They were going to die sooner or later, and it was only a matter of time. Dying early would help lessen the burden on Lin Yi and the others. Let's go, coward. I'll kill her. Wahahaha. The man seemed to enjoy scaring people. Chapter 1237. You, kill yourself. So he was probably saying all this just to mess with Lin Yi. Of course, Lin Yi was more than happy to play with him. He'd only have a chance to make a move if he played with him, right? When you do that, aren't you afraid that your heart won't beat evenly and will detonate the bomb? Lin Yi looked at the man and asked. Humph, you don't know, do you? Only when the heart beats too slowly will it detonate. On the other hand, if the heart beats too fast, there's no problem. The man looked at Lin Yi and said proudly, completely shattering Lin Yi's fantasy. You. Lin Yi's face contorted in anger as he glared at the man, speechless. Scared now? Looks like you treat your girlfriend pretty well, huh? The man started laughing. You'll die a horrible death. Lin Yi said with a cold smile. You're too right, there's no way a death warrior can die a horrible death. The man didn't care at all. Kid, now you know how impulsive you were, right? How about it? Not only can't you save your girlfriend, but you can't even leave. You dash. Lin Yi looked at the man angrily, stuck between a rock and a hard place. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, had calmed down, but she was a little confused. Lin Yi's behavior today was a little unusual, wasn't it? In the past, no matter how dangerous Lin Yi was, he'd always be calm and collected. He wouldn't show such intense emotions. For example, in the car race earlier, Lin Yi was still calm even in such a dangerous situation, but today, he got so worked up after being mocked a little. This was different from the Lin Yi she remembered. And so, Xiao Xiao started suspecting that Lin Yi was doing this on purpose. Did he have a reason for doing this? At that thought, Xiao Xiao was pretty sure that Lin Yi was doing this on purpose, trying to achieve some sort of goal. If that was the case, Xiao Xiao wouldn't expose Lin Yi, and she wouldn't react differently from before. She'd try her best to cooperate with Lin Yi. Lin Yi, honey, leave. I don't have long to live anyways, it doesn't matter if I die. Don't worry, if he dares touch me, I'll kill him. Xiao Xiao said. Shut up, girl. The man glared at Xiao Xiao, annoyed. This girl was so annoying, always nagging. Go, Lin Yi, honey, go. Don't worry about me. Xiao Xiao didn't listen to the man at all, continuing to scream. You fucking shut up. The man was going crazy, and he grabbed the towel and stuffed it into Xiao Xiao's mouth. Wah! Xiao Xiao let out a series of meaningless noises. It's finally quiet. The man dug his ear with his hand and looked at Lin Yi. Alright, kid, we can start our game now. What game? Lin Yi asked. Suicide game. The man's lips curved into a mocking smile as he pulled out a long knife from a bag beside the sofa and kicked it in front of Lin Yi. Suicide game. Lin Yi frowned as he looked at the long saber by his feet and asked in confusion. Brat, don't play dumb with me. Don't think I don't know what you're thinking. The man looked at Lin Yi mockingly and said with a smile, although your acting is not bad, I didn't believe you from the beginning. Dying on the same day, same month, same year. Pledging undying love. That's pretty touching, isn't it? You idiot, do you think I believe you? I'm just playing with you. Lin Yi's face darkened. He underestimated this man's intellect. It seemed like this guy didn't believe him at all. What? Did I see through you? Not talking anymore. The man humphed, pleased with himself. Let me tell you, you're still too young to play this shit in front of me. I believe you when you say you're this girl's boyfriend, but I don't believe you want to die with her. There are so many police down there, how could they let a normal person like you up here? Don't think I don't know who let you up here, and how much responsibility you have to bear. What are you trying to say? Just say it, don't waste my time. Lin Yi said coldly. You don't want to listen anymore. But I want to finish. I'd be letting myself down if I don't show off my amazing reasoning skills. The man continued. So the only possibility is that you're a police or a member of the Supernatural Investigation Department, and at the same time, you're this girl's boyfriend. You didn't come up here to die with her. You wanted to take me down. If I guessed correctly, you wanted to step forward in an instant and dislocate my lower body, right? So that I couldn't bite the poison and commit suicide. Humph. Lin Yi humphed noncommittally. Let me tell you, luckily you didn't do that, otherwise, you would be dead. The man said proudly, my poison is hidden in the upper part of the mouth. As long as you lick it with your tongue, it will break. It has nothing to do with the teeth. Humph. Lin Yi replied with a cold humph. How about it? You have nothing to say, right? Your little trick is nothing in front of me. The man looked at Lin Yi contemptuously. Idiot. You want to deal with me? Go practice for another 10 years. Are you done with your nonsense? What do you want to do? Lin Yi asked impatiently. I broke your hope. Is it painful? Do you regret coming up? But there is no medicine for regret in this world. It's useless for you to regret. The man looked at Lin Yi and smiled. How about it? You feel aggrieved, right? Are you done? Lin Yi interrupted him. If you have something to say, say it. Since you are so eager to die, then I will fulfill your wish. The man sneered and said with some displeasure, I wanted to let you live a little longer, but you don't cherish this opportunity. Then I can't do anything about it. What do you mean? Lin Yi asked. Do you see the long knife on the ground? Now we are playing a suicide game. The man pointed to the long knife in front of Lin Yi and said, now you pick it up and then insert it into your heart. Don't tell me you don't know where your heart is. Take off your clothes and stand in front of me and insert it. Insert it from head to toe. Insert it through your heart. You mean you want me to commit suicide? Lin Yi asked as he looked at the long knife on the ground. Nonsense, don't you understand? The man said with some displeasure, you are the one who wants to die. Who can you blame? Chapter 1238. There is nothing to be done, you will do it, the man said faintly. I'm not a suicide warrior, are you sure you're not mistaken? Although I can't do anything to you, you don't have the right to ask me to do anything, do you? Don't forget, before your second head in charge is released, you won't set off the bomb easily. Lin Yi retorted. You're right about this. The man was calm and unruffled as if victory was in his grasp. But can I play with your wife? If you don't do as I say, I'll do it right now. You. Lin Yi's eyes were red as he looked at the man, his eyes almost shooting fire. Don't go too far. So what if I bully you? What can you do to me? The man looked at Lin Yi shamelessly. If you're going to die, hurry up and die. I told you I wanted to play a suicide game, but you didn't understand. Who can you blame? If I knew this was going to happen, I would have just said a few more words. I'll count to 3, take off your shirt, stand in front of me, and stab the knife into your heart. Otherwise, don't blame me for doing something to your girlfriend. Wah! Xiao Xiao was really panicking now. No matter what Lin Yi's original intentions were, the situation had clearly deviated from its original path. The man clearly wanted to kill Lin Yi, and if Lin Yi really did as the man said, would he be able to live? Would he be able to live with a knife in his heart? How could Xiao Xiao let Lin Yi do something stupid? But she couldn't say a word, and could only make some meaningless noises. Lin Yi took a deep breath and looked up at the man, his face serious. If I do as you say, will you let Xiao Xiao go? Won't touch her? Yes. I'm not a good person, but I have a good reputation. The man nodded. If Uncle Feng releases your second head in charge, will you let Xiao Xiao go and let her leave safely? Lin Yi asked. Of course. The man said, if your people really let second head keeper go, once he is out of danger, he will contact me and I will release Xiao Xiao. Don't worry. Although we are a terrorist organization, we still have credibility. We mean what we say. All right. In that case, I can agree to your request. Lin Yi took a deep breath and looked at Xiao Xiao with a tragic look. A bitter smile appeared on his face. Xiao Xiao, take care. Wu, Xiao Xiao was panicking. She tried her best to get the towel out of her mouth, but how could she spit it out? Lin Yi smiled and nodded to Xiao Xiao as he started unbuttoning his shirt. I'm taking off my clothes. Can't it be inserted from the outside? Take it off. I need to see where your heart is. The man was obviously worried about Lin Yi. He was afraid that Lin Yi would play some tricks. Lin Yi didn't say anything and continued to unbutton his shirt. When the last button was undone, Lin Yi took off his shirt, revealing his strong and muscular arms. Kid, I didn't know you had muscles. Looks like I was right. You are the police or someone from the investigation department. The man said proudly, how can a normal person have such strong muscles? Humph. Lin Yi humphed and didn't say anything else. He just threw his shirt on the ground. Not bad. Looks like you are quite obedient. Now pick up the sword in front of you and end your own life. The man nodded in satisfaction. Lin Yi didn't say anything else. He silently picked up the sword from the ground and held it in his hand as if he was checking its sharpness. Come closer and kill yourself in front of me. The man ordered Lin Yi. Lin Yi held the sword and walked closer obediently. Okay, now raise the sword and stab it into your own heart. The man ordered. Remember your promise. Lin Yi looked at the man and then at Xiao Xiao. Don't worry about that. Hurry up. Don't waste time. I might change my mind. The man's eyes were bloodthirsty. Don't wait until our second in command is out of danger. I choose to blow you up together. Lin Yi nodded and raised the sword. The tip of the sword was pointed at his own heart. Wait, let me see it clearly. The man signaled Lin Yi not to act rashly. He wanted to check if the position below Lin Yi's sword was his heart. I can still tell where the heart is, Lin Yi said faintly. Not bad. It's here. The man nodded, satisfied. Woo. Xiao Xiao was panicking. She didn't think that Lin Yi would really choose to kill himself. Why would Lin Yi do this? No, absolutely not. She wasn't worth Lin Yi doing so much for her. Xiao Xiao's tears came out of her eyes. She was a girl who didn't cry easily, but at this moment, she couldn't hold back her tears. She was someone who was about to die. How could she be worth Lin Yi doing this? Plus, her motive for getting together with Lin Yi wasn't pure. She dated Lin Yi with the intention of getting back at Lin Yi. She was someone who deserved to be punished, but she dragged Lin Yi down with her. No, absolutely not. But other than the meaningless syllables that came out of Xiao Xiao's mouth, she couldn't say a complete sentence. This scene is very touching, isn't it? The man looked at Xiao Xiao's heartbroken face, and his smile widened. Kid, let's begin. Lin Yi nodded and raised the sword, aiming it at his heart, and stabbed it in. The sword didn't stop. After piercing through Lin Yi's chest, it came out of Lin Yi's back. Just like the man said, Lin Yi used the sword to pierce through his heart. No. Xiao Xiao screamed in her heart. Could it be that this was Lin Yi's plan as well? In her despair, Xiao Xiao had to comfort herself that perhaps this was Lin Yi's plan. He would choose to attack the moment the sword pierced through his body. But seeing the sword pierce through Lin Yi's body, Xiao Xiao lost all hope. Lin Yi really did it. He really chose to kill himself. Why did he do this? Why did he have to do this? Chapter 1239. Taking every possibility into consideration, Lin Yi's body slowly fell forward as the blade pierced into his body. Ha ha ha. What an infatuated kid, this feels so good. The man laughed maniacally as he watched Lin Yi plunge the knife into his own heart. However, his laughter came to an abrupt halt after a few laughs. Not only did his laughter stop, but he realized to his shock that he couldn't close his mouth, and his tongue couldn't move. His entire body couldn't move at all. It was as if someone had cast a spell on him. He sat on the sofa, not moving, not even his eyes. His entire nervous system seemed to have malfunctioned, and there wasn't a single part of his body that could move. In front of him, Lin Yi, who was about to fall to the ground, suddenly stood up. The blade was still in Lin Yi's chest, but he wasn't in a rush to pull it out. Instead, he smiled at the man in front of him, looking at him with the same look of disdain as before. He said faintly, "What? You can't move. You can't even kill yourself with poison, can you? Because you can't move your tongue, right? There isn't a single part of your body that can move, right? Isn't that weird?" The man couldn't speak, but from the look of shock in his eyes, Lin Yi had hit the nail on the head. But Lin Yi wasn't in a rush to answer the man's question. He walked over and took the towel out of Xiao Xiao's mouth. Xiao Xiao regained her ability to speak, and the first thing she said was, "Lin Yi honey, your blade, haha, Xiao Xiao, your husband won't die that easily. I was the one who lied to this guy, he was playing me, and I was playing him too." Lin Yi looked at the man and said mockingly, "Idiot, I let you see that I was acting, didn't you know? If I don't have any skills, if I'm crazy, would I come up here to die?" The man's eyes spat out flames as if he wanted to burn Lin Yi to death. However, he couldn't move. He couldn't move at all. "You're very angry and nervous right now. Your heart is beating very fast, so the explosives can't go off," Lin Yi said, looking at the man calmly. Phew. The man let out a breath. After hearing Lin Yi's words, he tried his best to calm his emotions and slow down his heartbeat so that he could kill Lin Yi. However, Lin Yi shook his hand, and a silver needle flew into the man's body. The man's heart beat quickly and powerfully. "Sorry, I'm a medical student." Lin Yi shrugged and said innocently, "This injection of mine is even more effective than a cardiac stimulant. In a short period of time, your heart's function will be abnormally good." The man was about to explode, but he finally understood what Xiao Xiao was feeling. He couldn't move, couldn't speak. "Thank you for telling me the location of the poison in your mouth, and the secret to activating the remote." Lin Yi smiled. "If you didn't tell me yourself, I wouldn't even know how to do it. Now that you've told me everything, it saved me a lot of trouble. Do you regret it?" "You want to play my wife? Let's see who's playing who now." "Humph, but there's no medicine for regret in this world. It's useless even if you regret it. Running into someone as strong as my husband is a dead end." Xiao Xiao chimed in, pleased with herself. Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao, one after another, returned all the words the man had said to him. This made the man so angry he was about to explode. "Phew!" The man spat out another mouthful of air, his eyes filled with rage. Lin Yi ignored him and quickly dug out a small poison sac from the man's mouth. He threw it on the ground and said, "You wanted to bite me to death just now, didn't you? But unfortunately, I've sealed your acupuncture points. You can't move." The moment Lin Yi's body fell, a bunch of needles flew out from Lin Yi's hands, piercing right into the man's acupuncture points. The moment Lin Yi fell was the moment the man's nerves were at their most relaxed. At that moment, his mind was filled with the joy of Lin Yi's death, and he temporarily forgot his guard. To the man, a man with his heart pierced through was already a dead man, so it made sense that he wouldn't be on guard. But he never would have thought that there was a long knife in Lin Yi's body, and that the knife had pierced through Lin Yi's heart and his entire chest, but Lin Yi wasn't dead. Not only was he not dead, but he was even able to seal his acupuncture points with needles, and he was still talking and laughing as if nothing had happened. If it weren't for the knife still in Lin Yi's body, the man would have thought it was magic. "All right, you can speak now." Lin Yi removed one of the needles, restoring the man's ability to speak. "Impossible, this is impossible. Why aren't you dead?" The man looked at Lin Yi in disbelief, asking the question he wanted to know the most. "You're talking about this knife?" Lin Yi moved slightly and pulled out the knife from his body, and the wound on Lin Yi's chest not only didn't spurt out blood, but it was also healing at a speed visible to the naked eye. "No. Impossible. You're not human." The man looked at the changes on Lin Yi's body, and his eyes widened in horror. Was he even human? The wound was healing so quickly, how was that possible? "I'm a practitioner, and I'm at the peak of mid-phase mystic division." Lin Yi seemed to think that the man was a little surprised. "Of course, I'm a little stronger than other practitioners. I can heal injuries in my body, like stabbing my heart with a knife, as long as it's not minced, then I can heal it, no problem at all. So, next time, you should order me to mince my heart." "But, there won't be a next time. And, even if you order me to mince my heart, I'll heal it while I'm mincing it, as long as my healing ability is better, it'll still be fine." You're a monster." The man was completely speechless this time. He'd calculated everything, but he'd neglected Lin Yi's inhuman body. Facing someone like this, it wasn't a waste to lose. But the man said, "You don't dare to kill me, but do you dare to kill me? If I die, you'll die too." "Oh, I was just about to solve this problem." Lin Yi said faintly, "You know too much. In order to keep it a secret, I have to kill you." Chapter 1240. Chapter 1238, Defusing Danger. The man's chest was cut open by Lin Yi, but Lin Yi wouldn't kill him. Because the man's death would cause the remote control in his body to detonate the explosives here. Lin Yi naturally wouldn't be so reckless. Ouch, the man suddenly screamed in pain. The pain of his chest being cut open was unbearable. He was a man of sacrifice. He wasn't afraid of death, but that didn't mean he wasn't afraid of pain. Do you feel good now? Didn't you want to play a suicide game? Lin Yi didn't care about the man's screams. He quickly opened the man's chest. This level of surgery was a piece of cake for Lin Yi. You're not human. The man screamed loudly. He was regretting it now. What kind of suicidal game was this? If he knew that he would suffer like this, he would have killed himself with poison and blown this pervert to death. But now, other than talking, he couldn't even move. How could he talk about suicide? Do you want to die now? Lin Yi asked calmly. No problem. You'll die as you wish in a while. When I take out the remote control, you can die. The man knew that nothing he said would help. He would only be laughed at by Lin Yi. So he simply closed his eyes and didn't say a word. Lin Yi quickly found the remote control for the explosives in the man's chest. The remote control was very sophisticated. It seemed to be the most advanced technology at the moment. It used the pulse around the heart to activate the remote control. Come to think of it, the technology of a famous international criminal organization shouldn't be underestimated. Lin Yi had heard of the Red Conch before, but he didn't have any dealings with them. Most of Lin Yi's previous missions were the kind where he worked for money. It wasn't surprising that he didn't specifically encounter the Red Conch. But now, this remote control device made Lin Yi's expression a little solemn. If he wanted to make the remote control malfunction, he had to destroy its power supply or transmission device. However, this was not a difficult thing for Lin Yi. Lin Yi reached out and grabbed one end of the remote control device. The jade pendant on his chest began to fluctuate. It seemed that this position was dangerous. If Lin Yi squeezed it, it might detonate the bomb. Lin Yi changed his position, but the warning from the jade pendant was still there. Lin Yi was not in a hurry. He changed his position one by one until the jade pendant stopped warning him. Lin Yi did not hesitate to pinch it. The sound of metal breaking could be heard. Half of the remote was crushed by Lin Yi's palm. This was no problem for a mystic class master. Taking out the crushed part, Lin Yi carefully checked the inside of it. As expected, it was the wireless transmission device. This part of the circuit was crushed by Lin Yi. Even if the remote was activated, it would be like a toothless tiger, unable to hurt people. Even if the remote was activated, there would be no danger. Lin Yi casually pulled the rest of the remote control device from the man's heart. He did not care about his life or death. This kind of man of sacrifice had no value. It was impossible to get any useful information from him. So whether he would die or not, Lin Yi was not worried. After the remote control device was pulled off, Lin Yi did not hear any explosion. The danger was completely resolved. Impossible, this is impossible. The man looked at Lin Yi in shock. He did not think that Lin Yi would be able to remove the remote so easily without detonating any explosives. Lin Yi couldn't be bothered to talk to him anymore. He threw the remote on the ground and crushed it with his foot. He then used his knife to cut off the ropes around Xiao Xiao's limbs and body. There wasn't a single trace of sloppiness, and the tip of the knife didn't even touch Xiao Xiao's clothes. Whoa, Lin Yi honey, you scared me to death. Xiao Xiao rushed over and hugged Lin Yi as soon as she regained her freedom. Huh, it's fine. I was just playing with this retard. Lin Yi patted Xiao Xiao's back and comforted her. I knew you weren't stupid enough to kill yourself. Xiao Xiao breathed in relief. But it was really dangerous. I don't have much longer to live. You didn't have to risk your life to save me. Even if you were dead, even if you were a corpse, I would save you. Plus, you're not dead yet. Don't say stupid things in the future. Your illness is fine. I'll think of a way to get a forensic doctor. Lin Yi said. Okay. Xiao Xiao nodded. After this incident, her confidence in Lin Yi grew. Perhaps Lin Yi really did have a way to cure her illness. Come on, let's go downstairs. Your dad's probably getting impatient, Lin Yi said as he carried Xiao Xiao off his body. Okay. What about this guy? Xiao Xiao pointed at the man on the sofa whose chest was cut open by Lin Yi. Oh, isn't he a man of sacrifice? He's going to die soon, Lin Yi said faintly. Lin Yi knew that this guy didn't have long to live when he removed the remote. The remote was near the heart, and once it was removed, it would definitely damage the heart. This guy would probably die from blood loss soon, but Lin Yi didn't need to heal him. Even if Lin Yi didn't need to spend energy, he wouldn't heal an enemy. This guy's life and death had nothing to do with Lin Yi, and Lin Yi wouldn't have a shred of sympathy. Oh, that's for nothing. Don't be a man of sacrifice in your next life. It's scary. Xiao Xiao waved her hand at the man. The man rolled his eyes and closed them. He knew, and he had a premonition, that his life was coming to an end. At this moment, he felt a sense of panic that he had never felt before. This was a feeling he had never felt since he was raised as a death warrior. For the first time, he didn't want to die, but there was nothing he could do. There was no way Lin Yi could save him. This time, he was going to die for sure. With regret and unwillingness, the man closed his eyes. Lin Yi brought Xiao Xiao downstairs, not even looking back at the man. This guy was just a passerby in Lin Yi's life. When he fell in front of Lin Yi didn't even bother to say a word. When Lin Yi held Xiao Xiao's hand and walked out of the door, the police and people from the investigation department were all shocked. Lin Yi really did save Xiao Xiao in a dangerous situation like this, and he did it so calmly, without a hint of panic on his face. Step by step, he walked out of the building. Chapter 1241. Chapter 1239, Lin Yi's suggestion then, how did Lin Yi do it? He controlled the Death Warrior and didn't kill him. But how could Lin Yi guarantee that the Death Warrior wouldn't commit suicide? And now, where was the Death Warrior? These questions formed a chain in everyone's mind, but this wasn't the time to ask. The only thing they could do was to report to their superiors. The police immediately called Ling Shan and told her about the situation, and the people from the investigation department immediately reported it to Tianlong. When Ling Shan and Feng Tianlong found out that Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao walked out of the building safely, they were both shocked. Lin Yi really did it? Feng Tianlong didn't even bother to say goodbye to Ling Shan as he quickly ran towards the A-16 building. Captain Feng, you're not taking the car. Li Yifeng didn't expect Feng Tianlong to run and quickly caught up. I'm not driving, it's troublesome. Feng Tianlong said as he ran, I used to be a good member of the investigation department, an ace. My body was quite strong. That's true, Captain Feng, you're a good member now too. Li Yifeng ran with Feng Tianlong. Ling Shan, on the other hand, relaxed after receiving the news. She wasn't in a rush to see Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao anymore. After all, she couldn't show her concern for Lin Yi too obviously. She was relieved now that she knew. Captain Song, we're not going to take a look. Lu Wangli knew about the relationship between Ling Shan and Lin Yi, so he asked softly. No need to ask. You take a team and help the investigation department to remove the explosives, then send the refugees back to their homes. Ling Shan waved her hand. Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao had just gone through a life and death situation. He probably didn't have time to take care of her, so Ling Shan didn't want to join in the fun. Seeing Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao appear in front of everyone safely, Feng Tianlong was extremely excited. He quickly ran over, his voice changing, Xiao Xiao. It's great that you're fine. Uncle Feng, I didn't fail you. I brought my wife back safely. Lin Yi looked at the excited Feng Tianlong and joked calmly. Lin Yi rarely called Xiao Xiao wifey or something like that, but he did it a couple of times today. Xiao Xiao blushed a little, but her heart was filled with sweetness. It seemed like Lin Yi was accepting her more and more. Xiao Xiao felt very happy. Ha! You're right, Xiao Xiao is your girlfriend, and it's your duty to protect her. I won't say any unnecessary words of gratitude. Feng Tianlong paused for a moment, but after hearing Lin Yi's words, he laughed out loud and didn't say the words of gratitude that were on the tip of his tongue. You don't have to say it. Lin Yi smiled and said, however, I hope that Uncle Feng can resolve the matter regarding the red conch as soon as possible. I don't want today's incident to happen a second time. That second boss should be killed. If he's dead, then it'll put an end to their thoughts. Feng Tianlong paused and nodded. This was the Lin Yi he knew, decisive and decisive. In this period of time, Feng Tianlong had seen Lin Yi's peaceful side and forgot that Lin Yi used to be a cold-blooded secret agent. Where's the Death Warrior? How is he? Feng Tianlong asked. Dead, I guess. Lin Yi didn't know if the Death Warrior was dead or not, but it was obvious that he wouldn't live for long. Dead? Feng Tianlong paused, then the remote control device in his body, I took it out and crushed it, so we can remove the explosives without worry, Lin Yi said, Uncle Feng, you won't blame me for making the decision on my own, right? Why would I? Feng Tianlong smiled bitterly, I'm grateful that you were able to solve this problem once and for all. Why would I blame you? If it were me, I wouldn't be able to do anything. If we could kill that Death Warrior, we would have done it already. Of course, Lin Yi honey is amazing. Xiao Xiao said proudly. In the past, when she was young, Xiao Xiao would sometimes worship her father, thinking that he was amazing, but now, that worship had shifted to Lin Yi. Ha! Yeah, if Lin Yi stayed in the department, he'd definitely be more outstanding than me, Feng Tianlong didn't mind inside. Alright, Uncle Feng, I'll leave the things here to you. Xiao Xiao, you can stay at my house for now. Lin Yi had this idea before, but Xiao Xiao rejected it. But now, it seemed that this was the best solution. Staying with Lin Yi would guarantee Xiao Xiao's safety to the highest degree. Who knew if the red conches would come up with other tricks after this incident? Even if they killed the second head in charge, would they come back for revenge? All of this was hard to say, and so the only thing he could do in the face of unknown danger was to keep the danger to a minimum. Everything was in his hands, that was the only way he could ensure Xiao Xiao's safety. Of course, but Miss Chu. Tianlong was worried about Meng Yao. Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao were close, but that didn't mean Xiao Xiao was close to Meng Yao and the others. It was normal for Tianlong to be worried. Don't worry, Uncle Feng, Yao Yao, Shu, and Xiao Xiao are getting along really well. We went to the beach together a few days ago, Lin Yi said with a smile. I see, then I'm not worried. Tianlong nodded. Xiao Xiao was a little taken aback by Lin Yi's suggestion, but remembering that Lin Yi was doing it for her safety, she could only nod. She was close to Meng Yao and Yushu, yes, but she wasn't as close as she was with Tang Yun. Even among friends, Xiao Xiao didn't have much contact with them, so it was natural that she felt awkward staying with them. Lin Yi drove back to House Chu's villa with Xiao Xiao. On the way, Lin Yi called Tang Yun to let her know that he was safe. Yun Yun, it's me, Lin Yi. Tang Yun picked up very quickly. How could she be in the mood to sleep after hearing Meng Yao say that Xiao Xiao was kidnapped? It was really late, but she still waited by the phone for Lin Yi's news. She didn't dare call Lin Yi, afraid that she'd interrupt Lin Yi's rescue. Chapter 1242. Chapter 1240, Tang and Feng's phone. Tang Yun asked a bunch of questions at once, showing how worried she was. Xiao Xiao and I are fine, don't worry. We're on the way home, and I'm planning to let Xiao Xiao stay with Yao Yao for a while. One, it's for her safety, and the other is for her illness. If she suddenly gets sick, I'll be able to take care of her. Lin Yi said. Oh. Let Xiao Xiao stay with you. That's a good idea. Tang Yun wasn't jealous or jealous, but rather happy. You're right, if Xiao Xiao gets sick again, you'll be able to help her quickly. Huh, I knew you'd think too much. Lin Yi breathed out in relief. Tang Yun's understanding was out of Lin Yi's expectations. Was this still the stubborn girl who argued with Meng Yao at Fatty Lai's place? What's there to think? Don't think of me as a petty person. Tang Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. You're driving, right? Give the phone to Xiao Xiao, I'll talk to her. Okay. Lin Yi said as he passed the phone to Xiao Xiao. Lin Yi was someone who had undergone strict training. Even masters of the same level couldn't compare to him. Lin Yi could multitask very well, like driving and talking on the phone. It was a dangerous move for other people, but it was nothing to Lin Yi. Xiao Xiao had been eavesdropping on their conversation the whole time, and the car was very quiet. She could hear everything Tang Yun was saying, and she couldn't help but feel grateful towards Tang Yun. Sometimes, Xiao Xiao would think that the heavens really cared for her, letting her find a boyfriend who loved and cared for her so much before she died, and even let her and his girlfriend become best friends. Tang Yun's concern came from the bottom of her heart, and it wasn't fake at all. Xiao Xiao could tell that apart. Thank you for caring about me, Yun sis. I'm sorry for making you worry, but I'm fine. Xiao Xiao said gratefully. There's no need to thank me between us sisters. Tang Yun smiled and said, as long as you're safe, I'm relieved. Yeah. I knew you're the best, Yun sis. The other wives would probably want the second wife to die too. Xiao Xiao giggled. You're spouting nonsense again. What death? With Lin Yi around, you won't die. Tang Yun suddenly lowered her voice. Right, Xiao Xiao, I have a mission for you when you go to Yao Yao and Shu's place. Oh. What? Xiao Xiao didn't get to finish before Tang Yun cut her off. Don't make a sound, don't let Lin Yi hear. Tang Yun quickly reminded. Oh. Xiao Xiao replied, curious at the same time. Just what kind of mission was Tang Yun giving her? And carry Lin Yi? Could it be that she wanted to assassinate Meng Yao and Yushu? It couldn't be, right? Xiao Xiao was shocked by her own bold idea. She knew that Meng Yao and Yushu were interested in Lin Yi, and Tang Yun could tell as well. Could it be that Tang Yun sis was jealous and wanted to get rid of them? But that shouldn't be the case. Tang Yun sis wasn't that kind of person. Xiao Xiao, when you get to Yao Yao's place, help me keep an eye on Lin Yi, Yao Yao, and Shu. See if they're related or not. Tang Yun said, a little embarrassed, I'm not suspecting anything, I'm just curious. Shu told me that Lin Yi and Yao Yao are related, and I don't really believe it. I just want to confirm it. If you don't like it, then forget it. Tang Yun didn't feel too good after saying that. Why did it feel like she had a spy by Lin Yi's side? Falling in love with Lin Yi meant trusting him. How could she just suspect him? But Tang Yun was really curious. Lin Yi had been living in the Chu villa for so long, was there really nothing going on between him, Meng Yao, and Yushu? Of course, Tang Yun just wanted to confirm it. If there was, then there was. If there wasn't, then there wasn't. Even if she found something, she wouldn't say anything to Lin Yi or Meng Yao or Yushu. Tang Yun had said that it was a fair competition, and since they were good friends, if Meng Yao and Yushu really did have something going on with Lin Yi, it would only mean that they were stronger than her. Tang Yun would also cheer for her and not lose to them. As for getting even with them, Tang Yun didn't even think about it. She just wanted to know more about her enemy. Yeah, sure, no problem. Xiao Xiao agreed after hearing Tang Yun's words. It wasn't a hard thing for her, and it wouldn't go against her principles. That was why Xiao Xiao agreed so readily. But, even if Tang Yun had lowered her voice, Lin Yi's hearing wasn't bad. He had heard everything clearly from the side. Lin Yi found the conversation between the two girls a little funny, but he didn't think there was anything wrong with it. It was reasonable for Tang Yun to think like that, but she didn't dare to confront him face to face. She could only find it out herself. This made Lin Yi feel that Tang Yun had really changed. She was a little different from the stubborn Tang Yun he knew before. The Tang Yun who was grinding her teeth in front of him was gone. What replaced it was a gentle image. After that, Tang Yun and Xiao Xiao talked about something else before hanging up. Xiao Xiao, on the other hand, passed the phone back to Lin Yi as if nothing had happened. She didn't mention anything about Tang Yun's orders. Lin Yi took the phone and put it away, not saying anything. The car stopped in front of House Chu's villa, and the sound of the car attracted Meng Yao and Yushu's attention. Meng Yao breathed a sigh of relief when she saw Lin Yi's car outside. Lin Yi leaving with a serious face really scared the Miss and Shu. They didn't have time to ask, and they were worried until now. They only calmed down when they saw Lin Yi's car. Two people worrying about a boy at the same time. This was something that would never happen in the past. Who would Meng Yao and Yushu worry about before they met Lin Yi? The two were carefree, sleeping when it was time. But now, they were sitting in the living room at the same time, waiting quietly. Chapter 1243. Releasing the news early, find out more about Su Shihan, see if she's planning to hold a concert soon. Meng Yao, naturally, wouldn't admit that she was worried about Lin Yi. Yao Yao, didn't we look for her already? You've been sitting in the living room all this time. Yushu didn't hold back at all, exposing Meng Yao's lies all the time. I just rested for a bit. Meng Yao glared at Yushu and yawned. Huh, let me introduce a guest to you guys, she'll be staying here tonight. Lin Yi said as he opened the door and pulled Xiao Xiao out. Xiao Xiao didn't dare get out before, not knowing if Meng Yao would welcome her or not. Guest? The miss paused, but a smile appeared on her face when she saw Xiao Xiao. Xiao Xiao, why didn't you get out? Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yushu clapped her hands happily. With a playmate like Xiao Xiao in the villa, they wouldn't be lonely in the future. Whether it was Meng Yao or Yushu, they didn't see Xiao Xiao as their enemy. Because of Xiao Xiao's condition, Meng Yao and Yushu had accepted her a long time ago. No matter how well Lin Yi treated her, she wouldn't become their love rival. Tang Yun had accepted her, so why would Meng Yao and Yushu do anything to her? Plus, after some time together, Meng Yao realized that Xiao Xiao was an easy person to get along with. They had fun together, and so she accepted her from the bottom of her heart. Yushu, on the other hand, was the same. The troublemaking duo wasn't just for show. The two of them could sweep through the world and mess with anyone they saw. Xiao Xiao's father made an enemy, an international criminal gang. I was worried that they wouldn't give up and would come looking for trouble again, so I brought Xiao Xiao to the villa. Lin Yi explained. Plus, you guys know about Xiao Xiao's illness, too. This way, I'll be able to take care of it when it acts up. That's good. The villa is big anyway. Just clean up a room and it'll be more lively in the future. Meng Yao smiled and nodded at Xiao Xiao. Yushu ran over happily and pulled Xiao Xiao into the villa. Lin Yi knew that Meng Yao and Shu were kind people, so there shouldn't be any problems with Xiao Xiao moving into the villa. He parked the car in the garage and returned to the villa, only to see Xiao Xiao, Meng Yao, and Yushu sitting in front of the sofa, looking up something on their tablet. Evidently, it was news about Su Shihan. Go to bed early. We still have school tomorrow, Lin Yi said as he glanced at the three of them. Lin Yi, you sleep with Xiao Xiao? Or will Xiao Xiao sleep with us? Meng Yao glanced at Lin Yi. Lin Yi felt a little awkward living with Xiao Xiao under the eyes of the Miss, and Shu was a little awkward no matter how he looked at it. Yao Yao sis, Shu, can I sleep with you guys? You won't mind, right? Xiao Xiao, naturally, was too embarrassed to sleep with Lin Yi. It was fine if it was just the two of them, but they were in someone else's house. How could she do that? Chapter 1244. Chapter 1242, Prophecy. Shu prophesied again, it's because of your weird headache that I'm planning to hold this concert. Wang Sis said, now we can basically confirm that Zhao Yaowang's medical skills are real. I've already asked my friends, a lot of famous people in Songshan City have gone to him for treatment, his medical skills are superb. Really? He has a way to cure my illness? Su Shihan was pleasantly surprised after hearing the news. And, the possibility is very high. Wang Sis nodded, I've already talked to Zhao Yaowang's manager today, I also told him about your situation, and he agreed immediately, saying that he has the confidence to cure you. He's not a scammer, right? Su Shihan was a bit worried. You still don't trust Wang Sis's foresight? Wang Sis smiled, whether he has the ability or not, Wang Sis can tell with one look. Currently, this Zhao Yaowang's reputation is not bad, it's just that he's a bit too shady, the fees are sky high. Sky high then, the money I earn isn't useful anyways, I'm alone, there's nothing to worry about, Su Shihan didn't really care about money. I think so too, so after careful consideration, I've decided to bring you to see a doctor. Wang Sis said, but you need to find a suitable reason to go to Songshan City for treatment, or else you won't be able to stay in Songshan City for long. If you don't want those entertainment reporters to dig something out, I think the only reason is to hold a concert there. After all, we don't have any business activities to do in Songshan City. If I knew earlier, I would have agreed to that Miracle Dr. Guan Medical Company's product launch. So that's it, I was wondering why they suddenly held a concert. Su Shihan finally understood what Wang Sis's actions meant. The next morning, Su Shihan's entertainment company announced that Su Shihan was going to hold a national concert tour. The specific number of concerts, venue, and time were still to be decided, but the first stop was confirmed, Songshan City. Although Songshan was a second-tier city, it wasn't unheard of to hold a concert in a second-tier city. So Su Shihan's fans were only shocked for a second before they started to envy the fans who lived around Songshan. Little Miss Chu, Little Miss Chen, and Little Miss Fong were eating the pork and century egg congee made by Lin Yi while watching the morning entertainment news. All of them widened their eyes at the same time. Holy sh*t, Prophet Shu is so powerful. Last night, I was still saying how great it would be if the concert could be held here. Today, it's confirmed. Yushu felt that she was really something. Last night when they were chatting under the blanket, they talked about this, and so Yushu made another prophecy. Oh. Meng Yao, too, looked at Yushu suspiciously. The girl's Jinx's mouth was quite accurate, after all. She'd gotten it wrong so many times. Xiao Xiao's face was a little weird as well. She'd heard of Prophet Shu's story a long time ago, and now that she saw it, it was indeed quite amazing. Things were so mysterious, and looking at Yushu, it was like a blind cat finding a dead mouse. But who knew if it was true or not? Shu, then can you prophesy for me? Will I die? Xiao Xiao asked suddenly. Oh. Yushu paused. No way, you definitely won't die. We'll be the troublemaker duo from now on, and we'll sweep the world. What would I do if you died? I hope you're right. Xiao Xiao nodded. She was just asking casually. Even she didn't really believe that she'd be able to live. It had been generations in the family, and no one could escape this curse. Alright, what's with the talk of dying so early in the morning? Are you done eating? I'm going to school, Lin Yi said. Faobert's here already. These 2 days, Faobert had moved out after recovering. He was an old man living with a bunch of young people, after all, and he wasn't used to it. Plus, the company was busy, and Pengzhan often had social engagements at night. He couldn't go back to the villa in the middle of the night. And so, things went back to normal. Faobert would deliver food every night, and he'd drive to the villa to pick up Meng Yao and Yushu in the morning. Alright, I'll have another mouthful of porridge. Yushu picked up the bowl and drank it all in one gulp. Lin Yi, where are we going today? Meng Yao asked as she looked at Xiao Xiao. In the past, Lin Yi drove to pick up Xiao Xiao and Tang Yun while Meng Yao and Yushu sat in Faobert's car. But now that Xiao Xiao was living in the villa, it was pointless for Lin Yi to drive himself. He might as well let Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao get in the car together, but he'd just pick up Tang Yun. Meng Yao and Yushu weren't familiar with Tang Yun before, so Tang Yun wasn't used to sitting in their car a couple of times. But now, with Xiao Xiao as a link, their relationship was much better. They went out together, and they even slept together at night. Naturally, their relationship wasn't the same as before. Now that Tang Yun was in the car with them, there wasn't any awkwardness. Then we'll all sit in Faobert's car. We'll just pick up Tang Yun later, Lin Yi nodded, seeing through the misintentions. Xiao Xiao looked at Faobert's Bentley, a little envious. This car is so high-end, I want to drive it myself. Xiao Xiao was a car lover, unlike the Miss and Shu, who didn't have any feelings for cars. Then why don't you be the driver? Lin Yi smiled. Lin Yi was a lot more easygoing now. He didn't have to worry about anything anymore. Ever since he resigned, Lin Yi's relationship with the Miss, Shu, and Faobert had gotten a lot better. Lin Yi was still a bodyguard and follower in name, but it could be seen that both Meng Yao and Yushu treated him as a friend. Faobert, on the other hand, treated Lin Yi as his savior. Naturally, Faobert wouldn't reject Lin Yi's suggestion. Miss Feng should drive? No, this car's too big. I'm afraid I can't control it well. Xiao Xiao stuck out her tongue and sat in the back. Let's wait for the weekend. Let Faobert drive the car over, and we'll go practice in an open space. Lin Yi smiled. With Lin Yi's current status, he could afford to pay for a Bentley even if it was smashed. Even if it was, Pengzhan wouldn't make Lin Yi pay for it. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.